First step, the CBI will be registering the FIR, and after CBI registers the case, there is a high possibility that other agencies like the Enforcement Directorate, they will also be registering the case because it becomes a predicate offence as far as the ED is concerned. There is a high possibility that the case will be registered under Section 120B, that is a criminal conspiracy.
And also because the Enforcement Directorate could be looking at likely the expenditure, why it was not mentioned. Was it like a Secret Service expenditure? How was it included? How was it taken out from the budget? All of that will be a part of it also. Big news coming in. Munish, I request you to please stay on with me. Harish Khurana of the BJP joining me. Mr. Harish Khurana, the Bharatiya Janata Party had been alleging a snooping unit, but Manish Sisodiya had said this was all political vendetta. Oh, this means this is only going to escalate from the Aam Aadmi Party. They'll only allege it much further. What do you think prosecution will mean now as the sanction has come? Mr. Harish Khurana.
See, every BJP welcomes the decision of Ministry of Affairs to prosecute Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodiya on this matter. If you remember, BJP was raising this issue since quite long when this matter came in for snooping of the leaders, snooping of media houses, snooping of officers, snooping of, in fact, judges also. We are clearly alleging that the snooping has been done over more than 700 people. And the Secret Service fund was being allocated. Funds were being allocated illegally. This issue was being raised long back by BJP only, and we welcome that. And now, when the prosecution has been granted now, Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodiya has to give a lot of answers on why he done this, why he made the feedback unit and appointed the illegal officers from Bihar, Kerala and all. He has to give a lot of replies now. And I think that the day is not very far when these people are put behind the bars also.
Do you think you may be already thinking that they should be put in Bihar? They will have to be proper investigation to be done, Mr. Harish Khurana. आप तो अभी से ही कह रहे हैं कि इनको जेल में डाल दें. ऐसे थोड़ी ना investigation होती है.
When Pooja, I'm saying this is the reason behind it. See, everything is now crystal clear now. The Secret Service fund was made on the recommendation of Arvind Kejriwal, and officers were clearly being stated that they have to report directly to Arvind Kejriwal, and this has been came in now in the public domain also. It was secretly done before, but now it is in public domain, and everybody has seen that picture, letters of few bureaucrats also. The case is now clear now. Answer has to be given by the Arvind Kejriwal.
Harish, how should a Delhi voter like me see this situation? This is a constant infighting, constant scam allegations, one after another. Aam Aadmi Party will likely blame the BJP. BJP is going after the Aam Aadmi Party. But this also shows that the Delhi voter is left in the lurch. We voted for a party, for governance. All we have are at loggerheads, investigations, scam allegations and political discourse is going down, Harish.
Unfortunately, when this party came to power in Delhi, they are not doing a development. They are already busy in doing a politics. They are already doing a rhetoric scheme of having a political vendetta. They are doing everything but not the development of Delhi, and people of Delhi are now fed up of this. I mean, day after day, years after years, the things are coming out, a lot of scams are coming out, but the same old rhetoric will be repeated that BJP is behind this and we are having a political vendetta. This will not be the case. They have to give a lot of answers now. They have to tell the people.
And my final question, because you're from the Bharatiya Janata Party, your party is not just in the opposition and recently had to face the face-off in MCD also, but is at the centre. This is going to be a political vendetta allegation that will come in, that obviously going after the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. What do you say to that?
See, now these rhetorics will not be accepted by the Delhi people now. They want the clear answers. They want the answers like, in this particular case I'm talking about, they have to give the answer why you have made a secret service fund. Why have you made a feedback unit? Why have you appointed Bihar cadre people to Delhi and scooping the political people and media houses and other what people have mentioned in. They have to give the answers now.
So very important, who was being snooped upon? Where was the expenditure? How was it being used? But importantly, that investigation could begin. Harish Khurana of the Bharatiya Janata Party welcoming the decision, saying we'll see how this goes. BJP expecting that these netas will be put behind bars. To Harish Khurana, thank you very much for now. I want to quickly bring in Munish Pandey. Munish, what do you think is now the strategy of the Aam Aadmi Party possibly will be. Because when an investigation begins in like that, they will have to also ensure that their evidence has to be in place. Because this is a big allegation of snooping, not just on officials, on the opposition leaders, possibly on media persons as well. And while Manish Sisodia and his team have constantly denied the charges, these are serious in nature.
Well, Pooja, as far as the strategy of Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, in past what we have seen as far as the excise policy was concerned, every time they blamed the Bharatiya Janata Party and they called it vendetta politics by the center. As far as this case is concerned, remember this is an old case, 2015, and in 2016 the unit was set up. In 2017 the complaint was given to LG, and now the LG and MHA has acted on it, and the prosecution sanction against 7 government and public servant officials have been given, including Manish Sisodia. So the CBI, the next step for the CBI will be to register an FIR against Manish Sisodia. As far as the strategy of Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, again they are going to blame the Bharatiya Janata Party. That is the possibility we are looking at. And apart from blaming the Bharatiya Janata Party, they will be again calling it a
Manish, what is this case about? Is this about the expenditure being misused? Is this about snooping, which is going beyond the constitutional powers that the Delhi government as an elected government has? And in many ways, of course, is immoral, unfair in the manner in which it could be used to snoop down on competitors and others. So why precisely do you think this snooping case could be a big issue, specifically for the Aam Aadmi Party to ensure that they can distance itself from?
Well, Pooja, there were multiple illegalities involved in setting up this unit.
Yes.
As far as the complaint is concerned, there was a complaint claiming that, first of all, this was set up without any approval from the cabinet. Now, the second number is, if there was, if the government wanted to set up a unit, they wanted to hire the officials, then there was no tender floated by the Aam Aadmi Party. There were retired officers from different government bodies and departments, including some of the officers who have worked in RAW and IB. They were hired. The retired officers were hired on a particular salary, and a particular amount of fund, that is around 1 crore rupees, was allotted for this particular unit. Now, when the complaint was given to the Central Bureau of Investigation and preliminary inquiry was conducted, then the CBI also found that there was no cabinet approval. There was no approval from the Ministry of Home Affairs, because it involved snooping. To spy on any person or to snoop or to even tap a call, you need a permission from the Ministry of Home Affairs, but that approval was also not sought. So there were multiple illegalities involved at multiple levels, based on which the CBI, in its own preliminary inquiry, found that, yes, of course, there was illegal.
Munish, but it will be imperative that the Central Bureau of Investigation or any other agency, for example, the Enforcement Directorate, that may also now be a part of this probe, they will really have to have evidence backing the manner in which this investigation has started. Because if the case is not proven, the Aam Aadmi Party will go all guns blazing against the Bharatiya Janata Party at the centre. And they will make it look like political vendetta, even if the charges are serious and investigation is going on.
Well, Pooja, you know, for the conclusion of the case, it will take years and years. It is not a immediate step or immediate result which the CBI will be getting as far as the conviction or acquittal of the case is concerned. But primarily what CBI is claiming, that they have evidence based on which it was sent, the file was sent to LG and MHA for approval. Now the government has given its approval, which means that the next step will be for the CBI.
Munish, okay, so then let's break it down for our viewers now. When we say that the Ministry of Home Affairs has given a sanction to prosecute Manish Sisodia, who's the Delhi Deputy Chief Minister, who's the closest aide to Arvind Kejriwal, who has some of the most important portfolios of the Delhi government, when he could be prosecuted, means what?
In layman language,
yes,
the immediate effect of this prosecution sanction is that the CBI will now have a power to register case against 7 people, including public servants, that is Manish Sisodia, because he is Deputy Chief Minister, To file any FIR or to file a charge sheet, the CBI needs a prosecution sanction from the government. So the first step will be to file an FIR. Now the approval has been given. Now, after filing the FIR, the CBI will have power to question Mr. Manish Sisodia in connection with this case. After questioning, they will also have power to arrest Manish Sisodia. Already, sword is hanging on Manish Sisodia's head that he might be arrested in excise policy case. The CBI claims that they have solid evidence against Manish Sisodia. The ED is already probing that case. But in this case, in particular this snooping case, the CBI, after filing the FIR, the details will be shared with the
Munish, let's remember, this is apart from the fact that Satyendra Jain has been behind prison. So one of their most important ministers anyway already has been in arrest for a while now. And then if Manish Sisodia also get arrested, that could be a huge setback for Arvind Kejriwal, for the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi.
Of course, Pooja, Satyendra Jain was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in a money laundering case. Now, in this case, Manish Sisodia is extremely important person for the Aam Aadmi Party and Delhi government. He is not only Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, but also he holds several portfolios and ministries in the government. So it becomes extremely important for Aam Aadmi Party also to protect Manish Sisodia. But at the very same time, what we have seen in past is that whenever there is an action by the centre or by the central agencies, the Aam Aadmi Party has also gone ahead and blamed the Bharatiya Janata Party so that they can get political mileage. During the Gujarat elections, we saw that how Aam Aadmi Party, including Arvind Kejriwal, tried to take mileage of the fact that Manish Sisodia was questioned by the CBI. There was an FIR by the CBI against Manish Sisodia. So, of course, there will be political implications of this case. But as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, what we have seen in the past and what we are expecting at this point of time is that the Aam Aadmi Party will again blame the Bharatiya Janata Party and the centre, and they will try to use this.
Absolutely. Arvind Kejriwal is not going to sit back. There will be likely a statement coming in. If not from Kejriwal directly, then Manish Sisodia, who is in the dock. Remember, Manish Sisodia heads the vigilance department in the Delhi government, and this so-called feedback unit was a part of that introduced in 2015. Munish, please stay on with me, because for the viewer joining me right now, it's important for you to understand why this is a big news. Why has Union Home Ministry given a sanction to prosecute if required, which means the CBI can file an FIR, arrest Manish Sisodia and required in the case of snooping. What is the snooping allegation? Let's take a look at that, breaking down for you. Sisodia heads the Delhi government's intelligence unit, or the vigilance department, so to say, officially. Now, what happens is, the allegation against him was that the Aam Aadmi Party in 2015, as a part of that vigilance department, made a snooping unit, called it the FBU, feedback unit, which is an extra-constitutional, extrajudicial intelligence agency. The allegation that it was not for purposes that could have helped in any way, but was allegedly being used to spy over ministries, opposition, political parties, entities, individuals, the manner in which to know about, it is, the allegation is to know about their plans, behavior, criticism of the government, all of that. Now, this snooping unit also is where the expenditure is coming from. With no legislative or judicial oversight, the allegation is it was being run by Arvind Kejriwal, also by advisors of Chief Minister who were reporting directly to him. Now, these are all claims and allegations that have surfaced, and that's why the investigation is going to start. That illegal use of government fund, public fund that was in a secret service expenditure, was added to that. So, of course, the allegations are serious. But remember, for now, the Aam Aadmi Party government had earlier also given out a statement and said, all these agencies have been put after us. None of the cases have been proven. This is another attack. They're making it appear that this is BJP at the centre going after Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. So that's the political aspect of it. But Munish, we cannot take away from the fact that these are serious allegations of snooping, because it goes extra-constitutional, extra-judicial intelligence agency. How do you think the Aam Aadmi Party will be trying to form evidence to defend itself? Because it will be eventually about the expenditure. The expenditure that could have been used for the snooping unit, that could prove trouble for the Aam Aadmi Party.
Pooja, as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, the only possibility what I can see is that they will get ready with the documents that they had sought necessary permissions. There was cabinet meeting regarding this. But these are the only things which the Aam Aadmi Party at this point of time can do. As far as CBI is concerned, remember, this sanction was not only sought based on a written complaint or allegation, but this sanction was sought on the basis of preliminary inquiry. Now, for the benefit of our viewers, what preliminary inquiry is? In preliminary inquiry, the CBI conducts go through all the documents, and if there is any evidence against a person or if there is any complaint, then CBI so attends to the proper through the proper channel to the concerned officials for prosecution sanction, because to register an FIR they need a prosecution sanction. In excise policy case also we saw there was a prosecution sanction.
So this is a procedure. This is a procedure, part of protocol. CBI cannot immediately go ahead, file an FIR or arrest if required, specifically when it's an elected minister. There has to be a procedure, and that's where the Union Home Affairs Ministry has given a sanction. This prosecution means the start of a probe. Munish Pandey breaking that big news for us. Remember, this could be now the top story. We'll try and get you more reactions. The BJP has immediately spoken, welcomed the decision. Aam Aadmi Party, conspicuous by silence. We'll be tracking if the reaction comes in from Arvind Kejriwal or Manish Sisodia. I'm wrapping up for now. This is First Up. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned to News Through the Day. IndiaToday.in is where you'll find all the latest updates. Signing off for now. I'll see you right after the break. Thank you for watching.
Over 3 decades, Business Today has delivered news, views and analysis like no other, chronicling India Inc.'s journey through time. Now, at 31 years, Business Today presents the future. Mission 2047, Road to India at 100. With Indian industry's biggest stalwarts and an exclusive interview with Google CEO Sundar Pichai.
I think there'll be both sides, Udayan, the growth aspect as well as the interest rate aspects. Hard to just look in isolation the interest rates as a factor. You would recollect very well during 2003 to 2007, in the midst of rising Fed rates, the flows were still very strong because the economies all around the emerging markets were booming. So I think there is still possibility that interest rates remain, and we have to remember the data points aren't like a reversal or a major reversal. We are talking about interest rates peaking instead of 5.25 to maybe 5.25, 5.5 or thereabouts. It's maybe a somewhat higher, not a dramatically higher regime that we're talking about. If for some reason inflation were to have a revival to higher levels, and then that means a substantially higher interest rate regime than what can be considered within a ballpark of where we are today, and then that forces a much sharper slowdown down the road for the global economy and the EM economies, that could be a negative scenario. But if we're talking about modestly higher interest rates but an overall stronger economy without doing as much damage to the economy as was feared last year, then net might not be that negative for EM flows. And India being, as you know,
okay.
nearly
Speaking of
80% of Indian flows are a function
please go ahead.
of EM flows. So if EM flows are to turn south as they were last year, then India can't be aloof to that. So that remains to be seen on how EM overall does in terms of flows.
Right. Speaking of flows, Prashant, how did the whole Adani episode over the last few weeks shift the mood towards India, if at all? I mean, do you think it has done anything to color the judgment of global investors that you may be speaking of all the time? Were they rattled? Were they shaken by this episode?
To some degree, there were heightened inquiries, Udayan, and we fielded a lot of questions as well from our global investors on implications. We had, client calls and webinars and whatnot. So there were a lot of questions, and there were worries of spillover, contagion risk. Can it, bring down the Indian markets? Was one of the concerns. But I think as Indian markets have held up quite well, by and large.
pork curry, bhang ka laddu, the people vote for us based on what the ideologies that we have.
What do the young of Shillong want?
I just want to go out of Meghalaya.
If you're standing by the people, then expect people to stand by you.
In 30 years of doing political rallies, I've never quite seen anything like this.
And we would like to be king, not a kingmaker.
The future's not ours. Whatever happens in its politics, we will celebrate with music and food.
LIC हर पल आपके साथ। Samsung Galaxy S23 series।
Good morning and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to India Today's The Burning Question. More on that. First, I'm Pooja Shali. Let's begin with the headlines. And the top story coming in from Delhi. The centre has given a nod. The Home Affairs Ministry giving an approval to prosecute if required Manish Sisodia in the Snoopgate controversy. In Maharashtra, the Supreme Court today afternoon will hear Uddhav Thackeray's plea against the Election Commission's decision to give the bow and arrow symbol to Eknath Shinde faction. In Maharashtra, with Sanjay Raut now making a sensational murder charge that there is a plot to kill me, and behind it is Eknath Shinde's son, who's hired gangsters from the Tihar prison. VD Savarkar should be given a Bharat Ratna, says Eknath Shinde after the meeting on Tuesday. Could become a huge political showdown with the Bharat Ratna demand that is now increasing for VD Savarkar. Annamalai, the Tamil Nadu BJP chief unit, meeting the governor. One-day hunger strike, stepping up ante against Dravida Munnetra Karagam over soldier's death by the councillor. Big political news coming in from the national capital, Delhi. Union Home Affairs Ministry has given a sanction to prosecute Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia if required in the Snoopgate allegation. The Snoopgate, remember, with regard to 2015 case of a feedback unit, a so-called snooping unit that had been set up to allegedly snoop on individuals, politicians. Now, these were allegations, these are claims, but it had become a huge political showdown. Aam Aadmi Party had denied it, but with Home Affairs Ministry now giving a sanction to initiate FIR by the CBI if required. A big setback for Manish Sisodia, but definitely a bigger political showdown with regard to BJP at the centre and Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi government. Let's quickly bring in India Today's Amit Bharadwaj, who's on the ground tracking all the latest and tracks not just the politics of it, but also the agencies. How should we see this, Amit, that the prosecution sanction has been given? It's a procedure for now, it's a protocol. But what does it mean for Aam Aadmi Party and what does it mean precisely for the investigation in the snooping unit case?
Well, Pooja, this particular incident that we are talking about, the case that we are talking about pertains to 2015. Now, a request by the Central Bureau of Investigation was sent out to the LG VK Saxena in January itself, around 12th of January, asking approval from the competent authority for going ahead with the prosecution in this particular case. What we saw that the letter was sought from the LG's office and the Delhi government's vigilance department to the MHA for its approval, and now what it appears is that MHA has issued the notification and the order in this particular case, where they have allowed the prosecution request of the CBI under the Prevention of Corruption Act. Now, as far as the agencies are concerned, in this particular case, there are claims being made that in 2015, this FPU unit, which is basically a feedback unit, was formed, which was aimed at snooping at the government officials as well as some political entities along with individuals and other organizations. These are allegations which will be now probed by the CBI. And along with that, Pooja, there's another allegation which is coming up in this case, is that a certain amount of funds were disbursed, unaccounted money was actually disbursed as part of the Secret Services Fund. So all these angles will be now investigated by the CBI. So far, the CBI was not able to act in this case because, remember, Manish Sisodia is the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. So there has to be a legal sanction from the competent authority, which is the MHA in this case.
Amit, stay on with me because I'll want to ask you about if there are political reactions that have come in from either side. But let me quickly bring in my colleague Munish Pandey. Munish closely tracks the agencies. He was the first to break this big news that the Home Affairs Ministry has given a sanction. Munish, why this protocol of a sanction from the Home Affairs Ministry for a viewer watching right now? Because they would think that prosecutions mean immediate arrest or even conviction. But this is the start of a procedure. What is the requirement? What does it mean as a trouble for Manish Sisodia, Delhi Deputy CM?
Well, Pooja, the prosecution sanction from the government, it means that if there is a person who is a public servant or who is a government official to file an FIR, the CBI, as per the procedure, needs a sanction from the competent authorities. In this case, it was the LG of Delhi and the Ministry of Home Affairs, that is the government. Now, Pooja, what is extremely important here is the sanction has been granted under Section 17A. Now, 17A is required to file an FIR in the case. So as far as this case is concerned, or this sanction is concerned, simply it means that the CBI will have now power to register an FIR against Manish Sisodia and other accused in the case. Now, as far as the timeline of this case is concerned, remember in 2015, the idea was floated within the Aam Aadmi Party government. In 2016, the unit was set up, but later on, a complaint was given to the Central Bureau of Investigation. There was a preliminary inquiry which was conducted by the CBI. The CBI claims that during the preliminary inquiry, they found the evidence of illegality at different levels, including the illegality from Manish Sisodia's office. Then the file was sent to the LG office this January, that is a month back. The LG granted the prosecution and forwarded the file to the Ministry of Home Affairs, and now the MHA has also given a prosecution sanction, that is the approval to the CBI to file an FIR in this case. Now there is
my
a very high possibility
here that this sanction or of this stature hasn't really been given till now against Manish Sisodia. We know Satyendra Jain already is in arrest, so that is one wicket down, so to say, for the Aam Aadmi Party. Manish Sisodia is a very close aide of Arvind Kejriwal. He's one of the most prominent members of the government. If this leads to an arrest at all, is this the first? And secondly, what could this mean for the Delhi government?
Well, Pooja, if you talk about within the law, the Central Bureau of Investigation will be in power to arrest Mr. Manish Sisodia. Already, the CBI sources are saying that in the excise policy case where Manish Sisodia is accused number one, they have very strong case. CBI has very strong case as far as Manish Sisodia is concerned. Recently, Manish Sisodia also gave a statement when he was called by the CBI for questioning that if he appears before the CBI, the agency is going to arrest him. And now with this approval,
there will be a second FIR, and if CBI, what they claim that during the preliminary inquiry they had certain evidence against Manish Sisodia, that is why even in that case, in the PE, he was named as accused number 1, suspect number 1. So there is a high possibility that in the FIR also he will be named as accused number 1. And if CBI files the FIR, they will be within their power to arrest Manish Sisodia based on the evidence which they have and which they are already claiming. As far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, for them it is going to be a huge loss, because Manish Sisodia is not only an important player in the Aam Aadmi Party, in the Delhi government, but also he is the Deputy Chief Minister, and he is someone who holds so many portfolios and ministries in the government. Also, he is a trusted aide of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. So it is going to be a huge setback. But Pooja, always remember what we have seen in politics, that whenever there is a politician who is arrested by the central agencies,
He's heading the vigilance department, of which this feedback unit was an initiative apart. He is primarily the education minister. Remember, Aam Aadmi Party planks itself on the education model. So that's where Manish Sisodia's role also comes in. He is crucial in many ways. Arvind Kejriwal doesn't have as many portfolios as Manish Sisodia has the power for Delhi government. He's actually in many ways, many call him the main chief minister with the portfolios that he's managing. Stay on with me because this could be turning, remember, into a huge issue through the day. Amit, has the BJP responded yet? Has the Aam Aadmi Party given out statement? Because the BJP will be quick to welcome. But what will the Aam Aadmi Party say will be very crucial.
Well, Pooja, BJP is absolutely quick to respond to this entire development. You have several spokespersons from the Bharatiya Janata Party's Delhi state unit as well as the national unit responding to the development, where the MHA has given its approval to the prosecution sanction to act against Mr. Sisodia for filing of the FIR. But as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, because I cover the party, it's almost every time that they release a statement or react a statement in a very calculative manner. So whatever response that we are expecting from Aam Aadmi Party, it might come later in the day, because remember, there's a mayoral election to happen today as well. So possibly, right now their focus is to get the mayor election conducted. Yes, there would be a response from Aam Aadmi Party, but that would be also a very calculative response, and it would be the legal teams would be also consulted as to what could be the stance in this particular case. Because remember, this is a 2015 case when the government of Aam Aadmi Party was just formed. Yes. There was several controversies which were erupting in 2015 itself, and the unit was propped up, and it was also wrapped up after a few months when the controversy had flared up. Now you have suddenly 7-8 years later the investigation picking pace, the CBI sending a request to the LG's office for a competent authority's approval for filing of the FIR.
Amit, like you've been saying, that the reactions have already started to come in, but not from the Aam Aadmi Party. The Bharatiya Janata Party has been quick to respond. Shehzad Poonawala, spokesperson of the BJP, has spoken. Let's listen into what he's saying.
अभी खबर सामने आ चुकी है कि स्नूपगेट और FBU वाले मामले में सीबीआई को केस दर्ज करने की अनुमति दे दी गई है, और अब इसमें मनीष सिसोदिया और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को जवाब देना होगा। फैक्ट तो यह है कि जिस प्रकार से चाइनीज बलून भेजकर स्नूपिंग करते हैं, वैसे दिल्ली के 2 जासूसों ने एक गेस्टेपो वाली बॉडी बनाई, एक सीक्रेट सर्विस वाली बॉडी बनाई FBU, और ये FBU बनाई गई तो करप्शन के नाम पर जांच के लिए, परंतु 60 से 65% इनकी रिपोर्ट पॉलिटिकल रिपोर्ट थी, पॉलिटिकल विरोधियों के खिलाफ थी। जिस प्रकार से जनता के पैसे का गलत इस्तेमाल हुआ, जिस प्रकार से कानूनों का उल्लंघन हुआ, जिस प्रकार से संविधान का खिलाफ जाकर ये काम किया गया, तो ये बताता है कि कहीं ना कहीं ये एक ऐसा एक्सरसाइज था जिससे कि लोगों को ब्लैकमेल किया जा सके और अपने राजनीतिक विरोधियों के खिलाफ इसका इस्तेमाल किया जा सके। और आज इसीलिए जब इसकी जांच के आदेश हो चुके हैं तो इसका स्वागत होना चाहिए। पर हर बार की तरह आम आदमी पार्टी विक्टिमहुड कार्ड खेल रही है। ये विक्टिमहुड कार्ड उन्होंने हर बार जब भ्रष्टाचार पर कार्रवाई हुई, शराब घोटाला, कक्षा घोटाला, बस घोटाला, हवाला घोटाला, दिल्ली जल बोर्ड घोटाला, तब भी इन्होंने खेला है, परंतु आज तक किसी भी घोटाले में उनको राहत नहीं मिली है। तो विक्टिमहुड कार्ड नहीं, उनको जवाबदेही देनी चाहिए।
With Minister Satyendra Jain already in arrest, is clock ticking for Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, head of the Vigilance Department, Education Minister, several other portfolios, and importantly, in many ways, in the absence of Arvind Kejriwal, he's the man who runs the government. But this will become a huge political showdown. Our colleagues Amit Bhardwaj tracking the political part of it, Munish Pandey tracking what the agencies have to say. Because remember, with the Home Affairs Ministry, of course, the Minister Amit Shah there, and the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi, this has been at loggerheads for the two parties ever since. But a sanction for prosecutions mean CBI can go ahead. I want to bring in Munish Pandey, who closely tracks the agencies. Munish, can you give us a background of the snooping case and the CBI's involvement, but also how there have been increasing number of scam allegations that have come of serious nature, whether it's the excise policy, whether it's with regard to snooping and several other issues as well. It's just getting more trouble for the Aam Aadmi Party to really handle, because it's one by one scam surfacing against them.
Well, Pooja, first of all, to give the background of this case and what CBI has done so far, in 2015, there was a proposal to set up a feedback unit, that is FBU unit. The main idea behind this unit was to keep a surveillance on key persons, including the government officials. In 2016, there was a cabinet note which was sent to several officials, and then there was a proposal to form this unit. There were certain officials, including the retired officials from the Vigilance Department and also from the surveillance agencies, that is the IB and the Raut. Now, officials from these agencies were hired to set up this unit. There was a fund of around 1 crore rupees which was allocated for this particular unit, and the unit was formed. Whether it became functional or not, that is not important for the CBI, because what CBI has done, that after receiving the written complaint in 2017, they conducted a preliminary inquiry.
I'll interrupt you here briefly, because non-stop political reaction. It's the Bharatiya Janata Party. Quick to jump in. RP Singh of the BJP joining me, because RP Singh, remember, is an important Delhi BJP neta clearly for the politics that's been brewing. Mr. RP Singh, should we see this as a protocol or as a political vendetta?
Well, it's a routine protocol, and the Delhi administration, the LG, has sought the permission from the MHA as a routine protocol, and it was there in offering, as you can't misuse the public fund, and they misuse the public fund for their personal objective, for snooping on the political leaders and the rivals in other political parties. So
Mr. RP Singh, is this not also raising a question on how the Aam Aadmi Party government is functioning? Because it's one scam after another, even if it's, of course, at the level of allegations at now. And they are saying these allegations have never been able to be proven by the agencies. But it's one stop after another. It was the excise policy, and now this.
So Sanjay Jain is still in jail. Vijay Nair is still in jail. The key functionary. Vijay Nair was a key functionary of the Aam Aadmi Party to the extent that he was allocated a minister bungalows. Kailash Gilot's bungalow was allotted to him to operate from his bungalow. So he's still in jail, and they tried for the bail and court has denied the bail. So how you think that it's a political vendetta? I mean, it's just the things have been proceeded as per the law. And then ultimately, the law catches with everyone. I mean, whether it's the chief minister or minister or the deputy CM. But answer has to be given. Why? How could they build up this sort of unit without the proper approval and sanction? And then, which
what
is
do you think the snooping unit was for? The BJP was quick to claim and target the Aam Aadmi Party over it. Was there a BJP neta being snooped upon?
Let the investigating agencies investigate and let the truth come out. We don't know, but they used public fund in 2 to 1 crore rupees for forming a unit where they hired the retired armed forces and the agency, various other agencies heads to snoop on the political rivals, and also on the not only but also the other administrative heads in the country. So let's see how does it go. I mean, we still need to know who were all on their list.
Very interesting. RP Singh from the BJP saying that this is simply protocol, nothing else, that the prosecution sanction has been given. Munish Pandey, Amit Bharadwaj continue to be with us. I'll now bring in Amit Bharadwaj on the politics of it. Amit, snooping allegations are serious in nature. It's not just about government officials. Could be media persons, opposition leaders, other officials, and this is extra-constitutional, extra-judicial intelligence agency, and that allegation does not fare well for any government, and definitely not for the Delhi government that's trying to come across as a righteous public service government.
Right, Pooja, you know, there are two layers of the allegations which are coming up in this snooping case. One is that this unit was unconstitutional, beyond the legalities, and it was formed to snoop on the government officials, on the organizations connected with the Delhi government and there are allegations that it was also nearly 60% of the cases that the FBU unit worked upon were of political nature. So these are allegations which are coming, and these are very serious allegations that needs to be investigated, or it is for the Aam Aadmi Party government to respond on the issue. But as far as the money angle is concerned, Pooja, a majority of the AAP netas, whenever they respond, they will reject the financial angle to it, saying that what is the allegation of corruption that you are leveling against us? It is the total amount is of nearly 1 crore rupees, and as per reports, the fund that was released to the secret service fund was nearly around 30 lakh rupees. All these numbers needs to be ascertained by the investigative agency as well. But the Aam Aadmi Party netas will say that even if we take these allegations on the face value, this amount is too less that there was corruption of sorts. The reaction from the party is supposed to come later in the day, possibly, but
the latest, because you're right outside Manish Sisodia's residence. He's the man in the eye of the storm right now, but no reaction on Twitter, no statement yet, so we'll be waiting for that, and my colleague is on the ground and he'll try and get a reaction from Manish Sisodia. Remember, of course, what you see on your screen, the thumbs up, the victory sign from days earlier, amid even the excise policy scam allegations. But will the smile stay on for Manish Sisodia, or will it be perhaps clock tricking? Remember, Aam Aadmi Party will have to give strong evidence that they did nothing illegal to be able to get away from this issue. While we stay on with these visuals, BJP has responded. Kapil Mishra, who was once with the Aam Aadmi Party, who was once a minister with the Aam Aadmi Party, and now is closely associated and is, of course, is in the BJP and has been very vocal against Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. This is what Kapil Mishra has to say.
शराब के घोटाले में अभियुक्त नंबर 1 मनीष सिसोदिया ने अभी 2 दिन पहले ही सीबीआई से परमिशन मांगी है कि मेरे को थोड़ा समय दे दो, और अब ये जासूसी का घोटाला सरकारी तंत्र का इस्तेमाल करके अपने विपक्ष का और अपने ही पार्टी के नेताओं की जासूसी करना। मैं यहां पर यह बात कहना चाहता हूं कि ये जो स्नूपिंग केस है, इस केस के सच जब सामने आएंगे तो बहुत सारे लोगों को हैरानी होने वाली है, क्योंकि आम आदमी पार्टी में केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया ने सरकार की स्नूपिंग मशीनरी तैयार की अपने ही पार्टी के पीएसी के मेंबर्स के जासूसी करने के लिए। मुझे लगता है कि जरा भी नैतिकता बची होगी तो मनीष सिसोदिया अपनी कुर्सी से इस्तीफा देकर इन भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपों का सामना करेंगे।
If you have tuned into India Today, you're watching the biggest story that has unfolded this morning. Home Affairs Ministry has given out a sanction of prosecution to Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia, if required, for the agencies to start a probe, and that means a possible arrest, if required, of Delhi Deputy CM. This is in the Snooping Gate controversy. Munish Pandey closely tracking the agencies, Amit Bharadwaj tracking the political part of it. Munish, Snooping Gate, snooping controversy could be a big controversy for any government, but for an Aam Aadmi Party government that wanted to come across as an extremely righteous public government and has changed the way that elections and politics is run in the country, for it to have a snooping unit is a serious charge. Can you also tell us what was the allegation that the snooping unit was being used against?
Well, Pooja, as far as this snooping or setting up this feedback unit was concerned, first of all, it was illegal in nature. If you have to snoop on any person, if you want to set up a surveillance unit, then you need a prior permission from the Home Ministry. Even to tap someone's phone, you need a prior permission from the Home Minister. That is number one. Second is, it doesn't matter whether this snooping was done on anyone or not. What matters here for the Central Bureau of Investigation, that whether there was any illegality involved in setting up this unit, and second, if there was money allocated through proper channel or not. As far as this unit is concerned, what the CBI has mentioned in its preliminary inquiry is that there was no cabinet proposal. As far as the cabinet proposal is concerned, only there was one cabinet unit. But if you want to set up a unit, if you want to hire certain government officials to do this job, you need to float a tender. But in this case, there was no tender floated by the Aam Aadmi Party. Also, the way the officials were hired, because not only one, but at least 5 to 6 government officials, mostly retired officials from Vigilance Department and from the other probe agencies were hired for this job. Those retired officials were given salary by the Aam Aadmi Party, or at least there was a proposal to give salary from the government fund. Now, there was no proper permission sought from the center to retain those retired officials. So there were illegalities at several levels, which the CBI has claimed to found evidence of in their preliminary inquiry, based on which they requested first of all to LG to give the permission to prosecute Manish Sisodia and other accused in the case. Now, after LG, the MHA has also given...
Stay on with me, because the first reaction from the Aam Aadmi Party has come. Aam Aadmi Party MLA spokesperson Saurabh Bharat speaking.
मुझे लगता है कि ये सिर्फ आम आदमी पार्टी और मनीष जी के पीछे पड़े हुए हैं। अदानी जिन्होंने लाखों करोड़ों रुपए का गबन किया, हज़ारों करोड़ रुपए का काला धन देश से बाहर भेजा गया, फिर शेल कंपनीज़ के सहारे वो पैसा इनकी कंपनीज़ में इन्वेस्ट किया गया, वो पोल सबके सामने है, मगर केंद्र सरकार उसकी जांच नहीं कराना चाहती। झूठे केसों के अंदर आम आदमी पार्टी को फंसाना चाहती है।
लेकिन जो आरोप लगाए गए एफबीयू मामले में, वो कहीं ना कहीं गंभीर आरोप है, क्योंकि एफबीयू फीडबैक यूनिट के जरिए जासूसी कराने का आरोप है।
देखिए, जासूसी पेगासस से केंद्र सरकार ने कैसे कराई, ये सारा देश जानता है। और गुजरात में किस तरीके की जासूसी मोदी जी के समय में होती थी, वो सब लोग जानते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये एक बहुत ही बचकाना, बेवकूफ़ाना बात है कि जिस सरकार के पास टेलीकम्युनिकेशन नहीं है, जिस सरकार के पास एसी भी नहीं है, वो सरकार जासूसी करा रही है। ऐसा कैसे संभव है?
इस मामले में क्या कुछ आगे कदम होगा आम आदमी पार्टी?
नहीं, कुछ नहीं। जब कोर्ट के अंदर ही केस जाते हैं, इनके केस कहीं नहीं टिकते हैं। सैकड़ों केस इन्होंने हमारे ऊपर किए। ज़्यादातर सभी केसों के अंदर जब भी फैसला आ रहा है, आप देखिए सबके अंदर जो है बरी होते जा रहे हैं। तो इसके अंदर भी कुछ नहीं हो रहा। और हम जैसे जैसे आगे बढ़ेंगे, आप देखिए अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ही एक ऐसे आदमी हैं जिससे प्रधानमंत्री डरते हैं। और जैसे जैसे अरविंद केजरीवाल आगे बढ़ेंगे, हमारे ऊपर और मुकदमे होंगे। तो हम उन सब मुकदमों का इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं। इस तरीके के फर्जी मुकदमे आगे आने वाले दिनों में बढ़ते जाएंगे।
26 तारीख को अभी सीबीआई के सामने पेश होने वाले हैं अलग मामले में, और अब ये सामने आ गया। आपको लगता है कि नहीं कि आम आदमी पार्टी अब जुड़ती जा रही है अलग अलग आरोप?
नहीं, ये तो राजनीतिक प्रतिद्वंदियों को जब आप किसी तरीके से रोक नहीं पाते, तो आप इस तरीके के झूठे केस लगाते हैं। ये तो डरे हुए लोगों का निशानी होती है। हर देश के अंदर और हर समय के अंदर देखा गया है कि जब राजा डर जाता है, राजा हार रहा होता है, फिर वो इस तरीके से सत्ता का दुरुपयोग जो है अपने राजनीतिक प्रतिद्वंदियों के खिलाफ करता है, जो आज जो है देश के अंदर सबको दिख रहा है। बीबीसी के ऊपर किया जा रहा है, हम पे किया जा रहा है, जो टेलीविज़न चैनल उनके बारे में बोलते हैं उसके बारे में जो है कुछ ना कुछ इंतज़ाम किया जाता है। तो सबके सामने है किस तरीके से केंद्र सरकार जो है अपनी सत्ता का दुरुपयोग कर रही है।
आज एमसीडी का मेयर का चुनाव भी है, जो बीते 3 बार नहीं हो सका था, हाउस एडजर्न करना पड़ा। आज क्या कुछ उम्मीद है? सुप्रीम कोर्ट का क्योंकि फैसला आ चुका है।
देखिए, सुप्रीम
So that's the first reaction coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party. Remember, this will be a heated political showdown like never before. Could this be leading to arrest of Manish Sisodia, when already one of the closest in the government, Satyendra Jain, has already been in arrest? I'll be tracking all the latest on that, heading into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Snooping unit or not, a definitely big scam and a big, huge political showdown that is expected. We'll get you the details after the break.
I think there's an opportunity for India particularly to work with the United States and others.
India is has the largest vaccine manufacturer in the world.
I thought if it's blowing in the wind, it's best I'm on the motorcycle. And I did 15,000 kilometers in 36 days.
Rich countries have a particular obligation to exercise their investment in innovation.
I believe that global business has the money and the power.
Improvements in the way we understand the importance of education and healthcare.
You have a greater chance of killing yourself than of being killed by any soldier or terrorist or criminal.
There are some big names in the art world, like the ones from the progressive modern masters like Raza, Souza, Gaitonde, Hussain, etc. Some collect them as assets, some as vanity, some for the snob value, some for the emotional appeal. They appreciate well and fetch returns. Same with select contemporary artworks. Then there is a whole pool of emerging contemporary artists who cannot just be viewed from the lens of valuations. One such artist at the India Art Fair happened to be Vikrant Pisse. His art reiterates his commitment to the revolutionary spirit of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. His work focuses on making powerful social commentary. The fabric of revolutionary times exuded. From his work, the call to action to uphold constitutional rights, to a social commentary on casteism with the Dalits in India, to depicting the landmark Rohit Vermila suicide case, the artist is working on a series on the legacy of the Dalit Panther movement in India. His iconography is informed and deliberate in radicality. A force of change to reckon with, Pisse's work stands out at the India Art Fair. In New Delhi, Chaiti Narula for India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Pork curry. The people vote for us based on what the ideologies that we have. What do the young of Shillong want?
I just want to go out of Meghalaya.
If you're standing by the people, then expect people to stand by you.
In 30 years of doing political rallies, I've never quite seen anything like this.
And we would like to be king, not a kingmaker.
The future's not ours. Whatever happens in its politics, we will celebrate with music and food.
Cannot let you bring your war here.
Outcast.
James Cameron directorial Avatar The Way of Water, which has been nominated for 4 Academy Awards including Best Picture, is now the 3rd highest grossing film of all time worldwide.
The Way of Water connects all things.
Surpassing Titanic and Jurassic World.
And after your death,
This is our home!
I need you.
Avatar: The Way of Water has collected $2,243 million globally to date, whereas Titanic's collection of $2,242.8 million to become the third highest grossing film of all time globally. Avatar: The Way of Water also passed Jurassic World to become the 9th highest grossing film of all time in the United States of America. Globally, after its 10th weekend, Avatar has grossed an estimated $657 million in the US and $1,586 million worldwide, taking the total to $2,243 million.
I hear her heartbeat. She's so close.
Set more than a decade after the events of the first film, Avatar tells the story of the Sully family.
Jake, it's crazy here. Quaritch is rolling and there's no stopping him.
We're going up against the trouble that follows them, the lengths they go to keep each other safe, the battles they fight to stay alive, and the tragedies they endure.
You should see your faces.
We have an indigenous population called the Na'vi. They are very hard to kill.
They've sent us a message.
This also makes Cameron the director to have 3 of the top 4 highest grossing global movies of all time: Avatar, Avatar: The Way of Water, and Titanic.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the news track. I'm Rahul Kamal. How does the Shinde Sena getting access to the tag of being the official Shiv Sena impact the political calculus in the build-up to the 2024 elections? Remember, the Mood of the Nation opinion poll telecast on the India Today group recently showed that Maharashtra was one state where the Maha Vikas Aghadi was seen as doing well and the NDA seemed to be struggling. But now the Shinde Sena is the official Shiv Sena. To what extent does that change the political calculations in this very important battleground state? We'll look at that in detail on the news track tonight.
हे शिवधनुष्य आहे जे रावणाला नाही पेललं ते मिंद्यांना काय पेलणार आहे.
धनुष्यबाण तो गिरवी रखा था उन्होंने. बाला साहब के विचार और ये धनुष्यबाण ये उनकी देन है, उसे तो हमने छुड़ाया है अभी.
Mahabharat over Sena. Uddhav fights for legacy. Takes war to Supreme Court. Shinde takes over party offices. Big escalation ahead of BMC polls. Kaun banega Senapati? Big focus on news track.
At 3:30 p.m. tomorrow, the Supreme Court will hear Uddhav Thackeray's plea against the Election Commission. Uddhav's lost his party name and symbol. Eknath Shinde is all set to be anointed the chief of the new Shiv Sena. He's taken control of the Sena offices in the assembly and the parliament and is now staking claim to the BMC headquarters as well. The top court needs to decide who is the real Senapati.
From the streets of Mumbai, the Election Commission of India, the Parliament, to the Supreme Court. Flashpoints explode in the political war between Maharashtra's Senas. On Tuesday, former Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray filed a petition before the Supreme Court, challenging the EC's decision to allot party name Shiv Sena and bow and arrow symbol to the Eknath Shinde faction.
Seeking an urgent hearing against the Election Commission order, Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal pointed out that if there is no stay, the Eknath Shinde faction, which has already taken over the party office, could also take over the party accounts. And what is happening in the EC is in fact dangerous to the polity of the country, because the Election Commission has gone outside of its purview and looked at issues which were being considered by the Supreme Court. On Wednesday, the petition against the EC will be heard by a 3-judge bench of the Supreme Court.
In the midst of the hot button dispute, the Lok Sabha Secretariat issued the Shiv Sena's office in Parliament to Eknath Shinde's faction. The move came in response to a formal request from a party MP. The political showdown between the two groups has escalated since the EC's decision. Eknath Shinde's party has taken control of the Sena's office in the state legislative building already.
करने दीजिए, और क्या कर सकते हो? चोर होता है वो कहाँ भी घुसता है। अब जो और बड़ा चोर होता है उनको लगता है कि मैं देश का मालिक बन गया हूँ, हाँ, लेकिन ये चौकीदार नहीं है, चौकीदार यहाँ की जनता है। ये एक रेड कार्ड के हिसाब से काम चल रहा है महाराष्ट्र के राजनीति में। अगर नहीं है तो अपने बच्चों की शपथ लेकर बोलिए ये नहीं है क्या।
A litmus test for the warring Senas on the cards. Elections to the powerful Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation already due, awaiting official announcement. Both sides pulling out all the stops to claim Sena legacy.
जिन लोगों को हमने अपना माना, मित्र तो ठीक है, वो मित्र तो थे ही नहीं, लेकिन हमने हमारे परिवार के लोगों को जैसे हम संभालते वैसे हमने संभालने की कोशिश की। उन्होंने अपनी जो कहते हैं कि राजनीति में माँ शिवसेना, उसकी हत्या करे, उसका दर्द जरूर है। हत्यारा कोई और नहीं, वो हमारे घर का ही निकला, वही हमें दर्द है। और उसको उसी को सुपारी दी गई, उसका हमें दर्द।
बरोबर आहे, ज्यांनी दगा दिला त्यांना धडा शिकवा। म्हणजे ज्यांनी युती म्हणून निवडणूक लढवली, मतदारांची मतं घेतली, शिवसेना भाजप युती म्हणून, एकीकडे बाळासाहेबांचा फोटो लावला, मोदी साहेबांचा फोटो लावला, आणि सरकार जेव्हा समविचारी पक्षाबरोबर ज्यांच्याबरोबर आपण निवडणूक लढवली त्यांच्यावर सरकार स्थापन करायला पाहिजे होतं, परंतु सत्तेसाठी खुर्चीसाठी जे बाळासाहेबांच्या विचाराला तिलांजली देऊन काँग्रेस एनसीपी बरोबर सरकार स्थापन केलं, याच्या बाबतीत त्यांना बोलायचं होतं.
A split in Shiv Sena in 2022 first unseated the Thackerays from power. With the EC announcing its decision last week, the Thackerays stand ousted from the party founded by their family patriarch almost 6 decades ago.
Now the biggest challenge ahead of Thackerays outside the court is to consolidate his support and retain his cadres from slipping towards Shinde. While inside the court, his lawyers are trying his level best to stay the order passed by Election Commission of India and also convince the Constitution bench to decide on the fate of disqualification of rebel MLAs. With my colleague Anisha Mathur from Delhi and camera person Nitin Varne, Ritvik Bhalekar, India Today, Mumbai.
The bow and arrow symbol is one of the most deeply entrenched political symbols in Maharashtra politics. It carries immense symbolic and political importance. Now that the Eknath Shinde Sena will have, unless the Supreme Court rules otherwise, the right to carry the bow and arrow symbol into the battlefield of the BMC and in the 2024 elections, to what extent could it change voter behavior? Remember, voters typically know the panja, the hand, they know the kamal, which is the BJP symbol, they know the jhadu, the aap symbol, and so on. And therefore, if it's in their mind very deeply entrenched that the bow and arrow is the symbol that they've backed for years, if not for decades, could that change voter behavior, and if so, to what extent? To talk about this and more, I'm joined on this broadcast by Priyanka Chaturvedi, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament. She is a spokesperson of the Uddhav Thackeray Sena, whose status now is in jeopardy. We've got Rajdeep Sardesai, who understands the ins and outs of Maharashtra politics better than anyone else does. Sahil Joshi heads up Maharashtra Bureau. We've got Yashwant Deshmukh, the lead cephalogist at C-Voter. And O.P. Rawat is the former Chief Election Commissioner of India. Shalini Shweta is a spokesperson of the BJP. I just want to go across and on that screen show our viewers what the Mood of the Nation done by C-Voter for India today said about Maharashtra. Now, according to C-Voter, in the 2024 elections, according to the MOTN that we put out in January, the Maha Vikas Aghadi could get 34 seats. Last time the Congress NCP had 6. Now that, if it were to happen, is a big potential gain, which is when the calculation was made before the order of the Election Commission. Now, if I were to look at vote share, between the last few months, the vote share of the Maha Vikas Aghadi has actually reached almost 50% of the total votes projected to be polled in the state of Maharashtra, which gives the MVA a big head start, except that one of the most recognizable aspects of that alliance, which is the bow and arrow symbol, now resides with the NDA, which is the BJP, and the Shinde Sena, which is now the real Sena. Now, to talk about what impact this could have on the political arithmetic of the BMC elections, and then the 2024 elections, and then the state assembly elections in the state of Maharashtra, let me go across to Rajdeep Sardesai first, because, you know, symbolism is important. The bow and arrow symbol very deeply entrenched. Now that that rests with Eknath Shinde, at least at this moment, depending on what happens in the Supreme Court, to what extent do you think it could change the calculations which Yashwant Deshmukh did for India Today in the January Mood of the Nation poll? Rajdeep.
You know, Rahul, I don't think symbols decide votes. You can go back to 1971, Indira Gandhi, when the Congress was split. She lost the Congress symbol, but she won the election. At the end of the day, it is about which of these Senas is best able to connect with its voters. And I think that battle will be fought when there are these 13 municipal corporation elections later this year, when there is a Vidhan Sabha election next year. Yes, this round has been won fairly and squarely by the Shinde faction, and thereby they've got the momentum in terms of using this bow and arrow symbol to claim they are the real Shiv Sena. But the decision as to who the real Shiv Sena is will be taken by the voters. You're already seeing Uddhav Thackeray claiming victim, claiming that in a way this is a conspiracy against the Sena by the center using the election commission. So essentially trying to play victim and invoke Maharashtrian self-respect, some kind of Maharashtrian asmita. It may work, it may not work. I think the bigger challenge for the Uddhav Sena now is to change its style of functioning. It's going to have to reach out more aggressively to the Shakha Pramukhs, to the workers, to the cadres than they've done so far. And the other advantage that Eknath Shinde has is that mere paas BJP hai, mere paas center hai. He's got the power and the resources now in a way to encircle the Shiv Sena. He's already, the Uddhav Sena, he's already done it today, taking over the parliamentary office, yesterday the Vidhan Sabha office. But all the real battle will eventually be settled only at election time. And in those numbers, I do believe that if this Maha Vikas Aghadi holds, NCP, Congress and the Uddhav Sena, just the sheer arithmetic of it, and they could consolidate as a result of what's happened, because they will also feel now that today it's the Uddhav Sena, tomorrow it could be one of them. they have a chance to take on the BJP, Shinde Sena, and the BJP knows that. I think the BJP has used Eknath Shinde to break the Uddhav Sena, but his utility, to my mind, is limited in the short run. Beyond the point, I don't think that the BJP will want Eknath Shinde to be seen as the face of this government. So I don't think, picture abhi baki hai, Rahul. And those numbers that you gave, I don't necessarily accept them. I do believe the BJP will do better in a Lok Sabha election than a Vidhan Sabha election. But yes, Maharashtra is one of the states where the arithmetic at the moment may well be with the opposition, even if the BJP is the party number one in the state.
Yashwant Deshmukh, from what Sahil told me when we met in Mumbai, your numbers created quite a stir in Maharashtra's political circles. Now that the bow and arrow symbol lies with the Eknath Shinde Sena, to what extent could that symbolism and the easy recognition of the bow and arrow symbol and the respect and the credibility that comes to the custodian of that symbol impact your political calculations? Rajdeep's view is it's a factor but not a game changer. Is that something you share, or do you think that just the fact that they have the symbol gives them a psychological advantage as being the true inheritors of the legacy of Balasaheb Thackeray?
Very quickly, 3 points, Rahul. I actually agree with Rajdeep that the symbols carry only a limited value as far as the actual game of political capital is concerned on the ground. Please remember, in 1977, in 1980, the Bharatiya Jansangh actually merged with Janata Party, and those two symbols were gone in 1984, and they carried on with the new party symbol and forget about the 2 seats that they won. But Rahul, for all practical matter, Bharatiya Janata Party in 1984 with the new symbol became the second largest party in India after Congress in terms of the vote share. And between 84 and 89, it was only an addition of 2% vote that took them from 2 seats to 84 seats. So, you know, there is only a limitation what political gains a symbol or an old symbol can carry. Rajdeep gave the example of Mrs. Gandhi contesting on a new symbol and winning the election. That is point one. Very quickly, point number 2, the arithmetic is still in favor of the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi. Many people are upset with me when I say so, but they are unable to understand the logics of this because of a simple reason: they are not analyzing the 2015 Maharashtra Assembly election when the 4 parties contested independently of each other, and that is where the arithmetic lies. Anybody can go back and do the homework on mathematics. I genuinely believe that without the Thackeray family, the supporters of Shiv Sena cannot really think of Shiv Sena as a brand. I genuinely believe that, but I also genuinely believe on the flip side, Rahul, that in the same manner, the genuine Shiv Sainik also cannot think of Shiv Sena as a NCP or a Congress ally. There are 2 huge contradictions here. Shiv Sena without the Thackeray, no-go. Shiv Sena with the Congress is also a huge no-go as far as the basic Shiv Sainik is concerned.
Sahil Joshi, you have your nose on the ground in Maharashtra. Your sense of how big a factor the symbol going to Eknath Shinde is politically, it's being seen as a big victory for Eknath Shinde and the BJP. The opposition says EC works closely with the government, therefore you've got the symbol not on merit but because of partiality. How significant could this decision be in the political electoral context?
Well, Rahul, I would like to club 2 points raised by Rajdeep Sardesai and as well as Yashwant Deshmukh. I would just first cite the arithmetic which Yashwant Deshmukh was mentioning a while back. He mentioned 2014 elections. The arithmetic basically goes, and that is the reason why that Mood of the Nation survey was talked about a lot in Maharashtra, was that the Congress and NCP together have managed to retain their vote share in 2014 and 2019 elections to 34%, whereas the BJP couldn't grow beyond 27 to 28% in any of the elections, despite either with Shiv Sena or without Shiv Sena. Shiv Sena has managed to retain its vote share from 19 to 20% vote share in Maharashtra, and here is the fight which goes on now, that Shinde, along with the 40 MLAs on its side, almost 14 member of parliaments on its side, could manage to pull out around 10% of the vote share from Shiv Sena, but Shinde fraction and BJP together manages to get 37 to 38% vote share. It doesn't give them more than 15 to 20 seats, whereas the Congress, NCP and the 10% vote share which Uddhav Thackeray commands takes the Mahavikas Aghadi to 44%, and that brings them a chunk of almost 30 to 35 Lok Sabha seats in Maharashtra. Now with the symbol order, here is the question. Now with the symbol order, I agree with Rajdeep to some extent that symbol makes no difference. As Yashwant has also rightly pointed out, the transformation of BJP, originally Jan Sangh, from deep to that lamp to this lotus didn't make any difference to their vote share. But here now the situation has changed. The politics has completely changed. There are a lot of people who are fence sitters who might want to go with the symbol, who might want to go with the original name Shiv Sena, because they have lived their political life with the Shiv Sena name, and by Eknath Shinde getting that particular symbol, maybe for the municipal corporation elections, there is a possibility that a lot of corporators who want to recontest the BMC polls may want to go along with Eknath Shinde with the support of BJP. They might think that their chances of getting elected again are more than being with Uddhav Thackeray. So that shift might happen. Whether Uddhav Thackeray manages to stop that particular shift depends, will decide a lot of things. And that is where the matter lies. Uddhav Thackeray right now is trying to create this sympathy that how Eknath Shinde, along with the help of BJP, snatched Shiv Sena's symbol, Shiv Sena's name. They are out to finish Shiv Sena. And that is what is the narrative he's trying to build up. But the
so
basic
Sahil has an important point. It's called the reason to believe. And it's not just the reason to believe, Rajdeep, of voters. Sahil's argument is it to some extent impacts the reason to believe of the Shiv Sena leader, the potential candidate in the corporation elections, the potential candidate in the assembly elections, that they feel you've got the might of the BJP, you've got the brains of Amit Shah, the charisma of Prime Minister Modi, and you've now got the symbol, and it therefore pushes some of the fence-sitter voters and potentially the fence-sitter leaders from the Uddhav camp into the Shinde camp.
Look, Rahul, the fact is it's a tough road. Let's not underestimate the challenge that Uddhav Thackeray now has to revive his party. The entire system and the machinery in a way is with the Eknath Shinde or the Shiv Sena as they are now called. And that makes it difficult because you need resources to win elections, especially municipal elections. You need resources. What Uddhav Thackeray has is a sense of emotional narrative with him. As Balasaheb Thackeray's son, and I agree with Yashwant, that Thackeray's surname does have an impact, particularly on the core constituency of the Shiv Sena. But remember, it's not just about Mumbai. As you expand into other parts, in Thane, for example, where the Eknath Shinde faction is strong, there's a belief that the BJP is unhappy with the fact that Eknath Shinde will dominate them. As you go into rural Maharashtra, there will be parts where Uddhav Thackeray's camp perhaps will be able to gain from its alliance with the NCP. On the other hand, the BJP will find possibly the Eknath Shinde faction a burden. So it's going to change district by district. I think this, in the next 6 to 9 months, which party is able to really connect with its core voters is the key. As I said at the outset, Uddhav Thackeray's camp will have to change their style of functioning. They will have to be seen to be far more robust on the ground.
Okay.
Eknath Shinde has the resources with him, but as we saw finally in the Dussehra rally in October, the Uddhav Thackeray camp was able to strike an emotional chord which was simply lacking with Eknath Shinde. So, emotion with Uddhav Thackeray, resources with Eknath Shinde.
O.P. Rawat, you've been the Chief Election Commissioner of India. On the basis of your experience, do you think the current Election Commission has done the right thing by giving the Shiv Sena symbol to the Eknath Shinde camp? What do you think is most likely to happen in the Supreme Court?
Honorable Supreme Court has accepted the petition for hearing, and therefore it will be preposterous to comment whether it is right or wrong. But going through the decision of the Election Commission on allocation of bow and arrow symbol to Eknath Shinde faction, I find that whatever evidence, whatever facts have been mentioned in that order, it appears that they have followed the Supreme Court ruling in Sadiq Ali case. They have applied non-conclusive, and therefore they had relied on legislative majority Shinde group, and therefore they have decided in his favor.
So let me just pause you for a moment to tell our viewers about what happened in 1971. In that Supreme Court judgment which O.P. Rawat just mentioned, the Sadiq Ali versus the Election Commission of India case, in this, what the Supreme Court decided is, if there is a dispute amongst groups of political parties, the test of majority support amongst the members of the organizational and legislature wings of the party would decide who wins that dispute. So whoever has more members of the legislature wing, which is your MLAs, your MPs, and the organizational wing, is the one who carries the day. Rajdeep, you've been speaking to lots of lawyers, politicians in Maharashtra. Is that their sense as well? As O.P. Rawat says, they've gone by what happened in the Sadiq Ali case in 1971, or are they expecting that there could be twist in the tail in the Supreme Court?
No, I think, look, the law is pretty much clear if we went by the Sadiq Ali case, that also it gives the Election Commission the power to decide on these cases. The only little ticklish problem here is that there is already a matter being heard in the Supreme Court on the entire defections and the manner they took place, on the legality of that. Did the Election Commission jump the gun? Should they have waited before pronouncing their verdict? Could they have frozen the symbol and waited till the Supreme Court decided on the defection case? I think that's the one slight difference between what's happened now and what's happened.
How do you respond to that, Mr. Rawat? That wait till the Supreme Court decides on the manner in which these defections took place, and if that was right or was that void, and that's the difference between Sadiq Ali and the current situation.
Actually, that is the case whenever there is any division of a political party, and therefore, and these two proceedings are two different proceedings under different laws, different systems. Defection is under 10th schedule of the Constitution, and it is a matter for the courts to decide. Whereas allocation of symbol, that is under symbol allocation order of 1968 of Election Commission, and that is simply for allocation of symbol and party name. So these two proceedings are entirely different.
Sahil, your take on this, interesting. One perspective put out by the Election Commissioner is that this is only on the issue of who gets the symbol. The other is Rajdeep's take that there is already a matter in the Supreme Court which should have been concluded before the symbol was given to the Eknath Shinde. Where do you come out on this?
Well, people were completely shocked by what Election Commission decided, because everyone was expecting that Election Commission will duly freeze the symbol, which originally happened in the Congress's case. The Sadiq Ali judgment came after both the fraction contested election in 1971, and after that the Sadiq Ali judgment came in. Also, the basic difference between the situation then and situation now is that now there is an existence of anti-defection law which was not there in 1972 when the Sadiq Ali judgment came in. Now, the I spoke to a lot of people, specifically from the Uddhav Thackeray camp. They are raising this issue that how come suddenly Election Commission have started deciding the fate of a political party on whose side more number of elected MLAs or MPs are on, whereas that should be decided on the floor of the House, in the Assembly or in the Parliament using the anti-defection law in the 10th schedule in the Constitution. Second important part in the Election Commission order was with respect to the constitution of the party, that is Constitution of Shiv Sena, and the Election Commission says that the amendments in the Constitution of Shiv Sena, which gave immense power to the party president, that is Uddhav Thackeray, those amendments were against the Election Commission's guiding principles of a political party, and that is why the party membership, the party office bearers, on whose side they are on, cannot be considered, and that is where the matter lies, and that is where the Uddhav Thackeray camp thinks that the Election Commission's order.
Priyanka Chaturvedi, your party's case comes up before the Supreme Court tomorrow. At this moment, one argument seems to suggest that the EC has done the right thing. Eknath Shinde, Sena had more MLAs, they had more MPs, and therefore they've gone by law and they've granted the symbol to the Eknath Shinde Sena. How hopeful are you that the Supreme Court could possibly come to your rescue?
Okay, step one, we are not asking for election commission to be disbanded. What we're saying is the election of the commissioner, the chairperson of election commission, should be done via a collegium. Because right now, Supreme Court is also hearing a case where a bureaucrat takes voluntary retirement from services and within 24 hours is appointed as the election committee chairperson. So that what Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray ji said was, this is not a transparent way of working. It has to be through a collegium-like system, or a system needs to be created where election parties, all of them, political parties are on board to decide who will be the person who's best suited in that role. Now, second part about the Supreme Court, whether Supreme Court agrees with our arguments or disagrees with our arguments would only be known once the verdict is out and whatever decision they take. However, it gives us that opportunity. Every citizen of this country has the opportunity to take their case and have their case heard in the apex court of India. And that is what we're doing as a political party, where we see how other agencies were undermined, have continued to be undermined, whether it's the Enforcement Directorate, whether it's the IT, CBI, which were used to create a split in the political party, Shiv Sena, and now using the Election Commission to give it a stamp of approval and hand over the entire political party, its symbol and its identity to people who actually went against the political party. So this is unheard of India's history. So I'm very certain that Supreme Court will ensure and uphold constitutional morality and democratic principles of this country and take a call on it. And
the Election Commission went through multiple deliberations, hearings, and they seem to have followed the principle of the test of majority, which goes back to the 1971 Sadiq Ali judgment, which we were just discussing, which is that the Eknath Shinde Sena had more MLAs and MPs, and therefore at this moment they are the natural inheritors of the symbol.
So in the Sadiq Ali case also, there are three tests of majority. You cannot cherry pick which test of majority you want. And the 3 points here. One, the legislative majority. Let's remember, this legislative majority was derived by using ED, IT, CBI, money, whatever, to lure elected representatives of our party to break away from the party. Second, these very MLAs who have, left the organization, who've gone against the party, their case is already being heard. Their disqualification case is still being heard in the Supreme Court, and they haven't reached a logical conclusion. That case started in the month of June. Now, the Shinde faction went to the Election Commission only in the month of July end, if I'm not mistaken. So even going by that test of majority, it's a flawed idea to hand over them on the basis of test of majority when all these MLAs on the basis of which you decide the majority stand to be disqualified once the Supreme Court hearing is over. So considering the matter is sub judice, how did Election Commission reach their goal, reach the idea and belief that they have a legislative strength? Secondly, the 10th schedule of the Constitution categorically says a political party is much larger than its legislative members. It constitutes an organization, it constitutes office bearers of the organization, and how these office bearers of the organization lead to, handing over political party symbol and ticket to a candidate. So if you look at the organization strength, which again they have cherry-picked, they have overlooked, over 20 lakh primary members affidavits in support of Uddhav Thackeray was submitted to the Election Commission. Over 4 lakh office bearers of Shiv Sena who are in support of Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray ji have been submitted to the Election Commission. And we have about 220 national executive office bearers. They, out of that, 160 odd are on our side, while they have 11 affidavits that they have submitted totally are 4 lakh. So even if you look at the organization strength, if you look at our party strength in the Legislative Council, all the MLCs are on our side. In the Rajya Sabha, all 3 Rajya Sabha MPs are on Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray ji's side. In the Lok Sabha, 6 out of the 18 are on our side. And in the Assembly, 15 out of the other candidates are on our side. So it's not like it's a one-way street. You'll have to, when you talk about majority, you'll have to look at a political system as a whole, political party as a whole. Otherwise, if you're just looking at legislative strength, so next time, you should do away with political parties itself. You should give symbols to everyone who wants to contest an election, and then you can auction all the MLAs who are the winning MLAs. And considering Bharatiya Janata Party is the richest party, instead of going about it in a roundabout manner, they can bid for their MLAs
No,
of their
so
choice.
your party's
and will
offices
get a
in
majority.
Parliament and in the Maharashtra Assembly.
Breaking news just coming in. Alia lambas paps for clicking pictures. Clicked inside a house. Alia snaps. Alia cries invasion of privacy. Bollywood comes out backing Alia. Alia says, I was clicked in my living room. There's a line you cannot cross is what she says. So this is the breaking news coming in at this point of time. Alia was papped inside her house, and now she is objecting to invasion of privacy at the moment. She cries saying that this is an invasion of privacy, and Bollywood also comes out backing actor Alia Bhatt. Amit Tyagi now joins us for the latest. Amit, what happened? Where was she clicked? Who clicked her? And why this kind of invasion of privacy? What was the need to click her inside her own home?
Which I think over the last 3 years, media has suddenly, the entertainment media has been engulfed with this paparazzi culture which came from the West. We remember the unfortunate Princess Diana incident that took a very ugly turn. I think in India also the culture is gradually, especially in Mumbai, is cropping up. But on one hand, these celebrities themselves call the paparazzi. But now I think when you raise a monster, the monster takes over you. And that's exactly what's happening with this paparazzi culture, which has gone into the different dimensions. And this is one of the side effects when you are clicked without the permission. So Alia and other celebrities like Anushka and Arjun Kapoor and Janhvi Kapoor, they all have this thing without our permission. How can they click it in our living space? So apparently this picture is from Alia's home, and she was clicked.
Arguing on the same concept, Amit, that sometimes there are celebrities who invite paparazzis themselves, but they do not really invite them inside their living rooms. Even if they do that, it's their choice and consent. There is no consent as far as this is concerned, and clicking her inside the privacy of her own home is really crossing the line. Who are these paps?
Yes, that's what exactly I'm coming to the point. So when initially they used to invite, but now, as I say, the monster has become so big. So these are the freelancing photographers who are part of the big media organization. So One Such India is one of the popular media organizations carrying these pictures, and it was photographer by them who were clicking from the 2 buildings away, and Alia actually saw them clicking the pictures. So that's what the point she had raised. In fact, she attacked Mumbai police also on that. And lots of celebrities like Anushka Sharma, she experienced the same, and Arjun Kapoor, Janhvi Kapoor, they also supported. And now people like Swara Bhaskar and all, and I think now all the actors will take a stand over this, but there's a line to be drawn. You cannot treat anybody. Now, another culture along with that is the selfie culture. 2 days back we have heard similar incident of clicking selfie without permission with the celebrity. I cover entertainment. I see people come without permission. They come and stand with the celebrity and with the selfie. So all these things are the ramifications of this new age, so-called social media and other things that's happening. And this is one such incident.
Yeah.
But I think it needs to be stopped.
No, of course it needs to be stopped, because anybody, for that matter, you cannot invade into a person's private place or a home or their privacy, for that matter, without their consent. This is not something which is in public interest. What she does within the confines of her house is her business. Nobody has the right to go ahead and pap her in this fashion. Now, has the police launched an investigation? Has the police acted on it? Because I do believe she put out an Instagram post where she has tagged Mumbai police as well.
No, it's not an Instagram post, it's an Instagram story, and she has tagged Mumbai police in that. So there's no, we're trying to get in touch with the Mumbai police. Has there been any action taken on that? Is there any, there's no response till now from that. I think they'll respond in a day or two. But she has to report that incident, and then only the action can be taken. In any case... So
at this point of time, she's not reported this incident? She's filed a formal complaint or not?
No, there is no such this thing. And many people had shared the story, but they deleted. Like Neetu Singh, she had put up retweeted that, posted the story, but then she has deleted it. So I'm sure, I think they'll try to settle the matter. But but somewhere I think the whole industry should raise up the issue, and so that this is not repeated again.
Yes, absolutely. And what have been the other instances, Amit? You track the space of celebrities getting tapped without their consent inside, private properties.
Well, the incident was Anushka Sharma and Virat and their daughter pictures.
Yes.
When Anushka had put up the entire thing, that was came into the eye. But many such incidents, if you watch these videos, the so-called paparazzi videos, many times, they just follow a celebrity comes out of a gym or a different salon or from there with their husband or to-be husband. So those are the moments, they're sometimes very awkward. And we hear the videos, you'll understand the kind of uncomfort levels now this has taken over. In fact, I hate to cover the media events because they're full of these celebrities. You can't even talk to the actor properly. These cameras of all, the phone cameras, they're not those, I don't know which kind of, there's these freelancers, everybody who holds a camera is a journalist. So the situation has become so grim for us also, for the journalists who have been doing this from ages, and we represent a media organization, but all kind of people come under paparazzi. I don't know, there's no certification, there's no, nomenclature culture to these so-called paparazzis. Anybody who holds a phone is a paparazzi. So I think that also needs to be streamlined.
And especially, Amit, in the age of social media, everyone now wants to take a picture to score some brownie points on Instagram.
That's true. Selfie culture is like, I don't know, they take selfies and I don't know where they put it. They take selfies on like many actors, they said, you go to the washroom and people come and take selfies. So this whole selfie culture, we heard, I was telling you about the incident which happened with cricketer, and so many such incidents are going to come because this has become too much now, the selfie culture. Without permission, they come, the actor is looking this side, people come and click pictures. It's become, and it's not just the big actors, I'm talking about small actors like regional cinema or TV actors or OTT actors or influencers. So it's I don't know where it's going. It's a very bizarre situation right now, the so-called selfie obsession. And
I have noticed, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Alia has been somebody who's been absolutely classy and dignified when it comes to even getting clicked. In fact, I do remember when she was getting married as well, she especially came out, greeted the paparazzi, gave them a photo opportunity. She's been somebody who's really following the rule book properly as a celebrity as well. And hence, then it comes as a surprise when someone cooperates so much that you go ahead and invade that person's privacy.
Yeah, that's true, Chaiti, because she has been very cooperative actress since she comes. She's the daughter of Mahesh Bhatt, so as a child, she's seen all that. And she's been very supportive to media. I think it was one of the best weddings, most cooperative actors' wedding we have seen compared to the other weddings which happened in the last 1 year. And it happens with her is quite sad because Alia, Ranbir, or the whole family, they have been very supportive. As a media, I feel they're one of the best people to work. And they never scrape about it. They're very professional in their things. So it's very sad when you hear something about this. So that's what even
Anushka and Virat were also packed inside the comfort of their homes, and the child was also involved. Thankfully, there is no child involved over here. But what if there was? It's just a line that cannot be crossed by any paparazzi in India.
That's true. They are celebrities, of course, but for any common man also, clicking a picture of women's child is not right without their consent, and I think it's a gross violation of that basic rule that applies to every citizen.
Indeed, it is a gross violation. Amit, at the moment, are we seeing any kind of Twitter backlash, social media backlash on the back of this story which is developing?
It's started happening now. Swara Bhaskar and all these people, they have jumped into this bandwagon. I'm sure more celebrities will come in, and I'm sure they all should get together and form a system about this. And they should take up the matter, because I also, as a fellow journalist, feel that paparazzi culture is really hampering our work also as a journalist. Because
Amit, you are a real true-blooded journalist. We are talking here about paparazzi. There's a huge difference, and please tell our viewers the difference between a true journalist like you and a paparazzi.
Problem is that because they think that they are journalists. Problem is that because they point the name of the so-called journalist culture as well. This paparazzi has taken over all events, all these things. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Sampling the work.
Yes, hold on right there. We're getting breaking news coming in. There's a press conference going on by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Listen in.
जिसमें राजनीतिक दल के लोग भी थे, जिसमें दिल्ली सरकार के अफसर थे, मीडिया हाउसेस के लोग थे, उसमें जजेस के नाम थे। 700 लोगों को की स्नूपिंग कराई गई, उस वक्त भी मामला सामने आया था। अब जब चूंकि जांच के आदेश हो गए हैं, प्रोसिक्यूशन के आदेश हो गए हैं, निश्चित तौर के ऊपर जैसा अभी अध्यक्ष जी ने भी कहा, बहुत चीजें सामने आएंगी, बहुत चीजों का खुलासा होगा। और मुझे लगता है कि ये जांच की आंच है, बिल्कुल ठीक कहा अध्यक्ष जी ने कि ये सिर्फ यहां नहीं रुकने वाली, ये जांच की आंच अरविंद केजरीवाल तक जाएगी। और वो दिन दूर नहीं है कि जब दोनों अरविंद केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया जेल की सलाखों के पीछे होंगे। ये दोनों मैटर बनते हैं, एक क्रिमिनल कॉन्स्पिरेसी का 120B का, जिसमें जिस प्रकार से इन लोगों ने इलीगल तरीके से अपॉइंटमेंट्स करी, इलीगल तरीके से स्नूपिंग करी, ये क्रिमिनल कॉन्स्पिरेसी का मामला है। दूसरा भ्रष्टाचार निरोधक, क्योंकि एक सीक्रेट सर्विस फंड बनाया गया, वो मामला भी बनता है कि उसके अंदर पैसों का इधर से उधर हुआ, कहाँ गया, किसकी जेब में गया, क्या उसका यूटिलाइजेशन हुआ, इन सब के जवाब तो अरविंद केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया को देने पड़ेंगे। इसलिए हमारा ये मानना है कि बहुत जल्दी इस जांच की आंच अरविंद केजरीवाल तक पहुंचेगी और दोनों बहुत जल्दी सलाखों के पीछे होंगे। धन्यवाद। कोई सवाल हो तो आप।
सर, दुर्गेश पाटिल ने भी बोला है कि भाजपा पीछे पड़ी है मनीष सिसोदिया।
देखिए, हम पीछे नहीं पड़े हैं, उनके कर्म जो हैं वो ऐसे हैं, जो न्यायिक एजेंसी उसकी जांच कर रही है। मनीष सिसोदिया दावा करते हैं बेहतर शिक्षा मंत्री होने का। दिल्ली के बच्चे, अभिभावक अब ये पूछ रहे हैं कि दिल्ली का शिक्षा मंत्री शराब घोटाला करवाता है, जासूसी कांड कराता है, तो ऐसे शिक्षा मंत्री को दिल्ली में रहने का अधिकार है क्या? तो मनीष सिसोदिया के कृत्य ऐसे हैं, अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनकी सरकार के कृत्य ऐसे हैं कि जिसका परिणाम सामने आ रहा है।
कायर और झूठे लोग हो, ऐसा मनीष सिसोदिया का ट्वीट है और कह रहे हैं जैसे जैसे आप पार्टी बढ़ेगी वैसे वैसे आप लोग एलिगेशन लगाएंगे और केसेस करवाएंगे, तो कमजोर लोगों की निशानी है ये।
कमजोर लोग शिक्षा की आड़ में शराब घोटाले और जासूसी कांड करवा रहे हैं। और जहां तक आपके बढ़ने की बात है, जहां जहां आपका करप्शन बढ़ेगा, न्यायिक एजेंसी अपना काम करेगी।
इसमें ऐड कर दूं, इसी में एक बात जो अभी बात करी मनीष सिसोदिया ने, यही कुछ जो रिटॉर्टिक्स था, यही बातें जो करते थे जब वो सत्येंद्र जैन गिरफ्तार हुए थे, तब भी ये बातें हुई थी। सबने देखा कि 7 महीने से वो व्यक्ति कोर्ट की ऑर्डर की वजह से जेल में है, कोई भारतीय जनता पार्टी की वजह से नहीं, ईडी की वजह से नहीं, सीबीआई की वजह से नहीं, कोर्ट की ऑर्डर की वजह से 7 महीने जेल में है। विजय नायर जो इनके मीडिया के सब कुछ हैं, रहनुमा हैं, और कहते थे कि आप डायलॉग इनका आता था कि हमें गुजरात के चुनाव है इसलिए हमें परेशान करने की कोशिश की जा रही है, आम आदमी पार्टी बढ़ रही है, यही बातें करते थे। क्या हुआ? विजय नायर 4 बार से उनकी बेल रिजेक्ट हुई है, 4 बार से। तो इसका मतलब कहीं ना कहीं केसेस में दम है। प्राइमा फेसी कोर्ट को भी लगता है कि जो केसेस उनके खिलाफ हैं उनमें दम है। इसलिए मनीष सिसोदिया को सिर्फ एक एडवाइस है कि इधर उधर की बात मत करो, इस बात का जवाब दो कि आपने कितने लोगों की स्नूपिंग कराई थी, कि ये पैसा सीक्रेट सर्विस फंड के अंदर जो पैसा था वो कहाँ गया, उस बात का जवाब दे, इधर उधर की बातें मत करें।
सर, ऐसी का रिमार्क आया है, दिल्ली में लगातार इंसिडेंट्स हो रहे हैं लड़कियों के साथ, कहीं ना कहीं दिल्ली
अलग से पूछ लें, अलग से पूछ लें। कोई और क्वेश्चन इससे रिलेटेड? थैंक यू। अब अलग से
अरे भाई नाश्ता कराओ सुबह सुबह। हाँ।
All right, so that's the latest coming in right there. BJP holding a press conference, heading out at Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia as well on the liquor gate scam. We are getting you the latest coming in. It's a setback, of course, for Manish Sisodia. We are getting you BJP's press conference goes ahead and asks, is this our government's Pegasus or not? We are getting you this particular story of Manish Sisodia, which has turned out to be a big setback, not just for Sisodia, but for the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal as well. The Ministry of Home Affairs gave its sanction to prosecute Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia in snooping case Delhi's Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena approved the CBI's request for sanction to prosecute and forwarded it to the MHA. CBI sought sanctions to register an FIR against Sisodia, who heads the Vigilance Department of the Delhi government. The feedback unit was created under the department in 2015 after AAP came to power in Delhi. It's alleged that Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal moved the proposal in a cabinet meeting in 2015, but no agenda note was circulated. No sanction from the LG was taken for the appointments to the FBU. Massive political war has erupted over MHA nod.
Unfortunately, the Aam Aadmi Party will start playing the victimhood card. The old victimhood card that they've played whenever there is any kind of action on corruption, whether it's Sharab Ghotala, Hawala Ghotala, Kaksha Ghotala, Bus Ghotala, Classroom Ghotala, they have always played the victimhood card. This victimhood card won't do. They must come and answer the questions because their victimhood card has proven to be a fake card. None of the cases have been quashed by the courts of law, and today they must answer the questions that are being posed to them, not try to run away from them.
शराब के घोटाले में अभियुक्त नंबर 1 मनीष सिसोदिया ने अभी 2 दिन पहले ही सीबीआई से परमिशन मांगी है कि मेरे को थोड़ा समय दे दो। और अब ये जासूसी का घोटाला सरकारी तंत्र का इस्तेमाल करके अपने विपक्ष का और अपने ही पार्टी के नेताओं की जासूसी करना। मैं यहां पर यह बात कहना चाहता हूं कि ये जो स्नूपिंग केस है, इस केस के सच जब सामने आएंगे तो बहुत सारे लोगों को हैरानी होने वाली है, क्योंकि आम आदमी पार्टी में केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया ने सरकार की स्नूपिंग मशीनरी तैयार की अपने ही पार्टी के पीएसी के मेंबर्स के जासूसी करने के लिए। मुझे लगता है कि जरा भी नैतिकता बची होगी तो मनीष सिसोदिया अपनी कुर्सी से इस्तीफा देकर इन भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपों का सामना करेंगे।
Amit Bharat is now joining us from the Civic Centre at the moment. Amit, would you say this is a setback coming in for Sisodia? How does the Aam Aadmi Party respond on the back of these developments that are coming in?
Well, it is definitely yet another political storm in the national capital, where you have Aam Aadmi Party Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia facing, another allegation, and now the MHA has given its prosecution sanction to the CBI to act against Mr. Sisodia under the Prevention of Corruption Act in the Snoopgate case. But as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, it is rejecting the allegations. Manish Sisodia, reacting to the entire development this morning, has said that, filing false cases against the opponents is a sign of a weak and coward person. So that is a big statement coming from Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, who is facing the allegations in the Snoopgate case. And along with that, you also have senior leaders of the Aam Aadmi, such as Sanjay Singh and Saurabh Bharat, rejecting the entire plot or the basis of the Snoopgate case. But on the other side, the BJP is attacking Aam Aadmi Party. It is saying that, it was the Bharatiya Janata Party's Delhi unit which had protested against Manish Sisodia, Aam Aadmi Party, over the Snoopgate case. And after that, they were demanding the resignation of Manish Sisodia. But today, now that the MHA has given sanction to prosecute Manish Sisodia in the Snoopgate case, in the alleged feedback unit case, it is to be seen what further political developments take place in the national capital. But for now, Chet, it is very clear that both the parties are at loggerheads, while the BJP is training guns at Aam Aadmi Party and Manish Sisodia. Manish Sisodia is responding, saying that as the Aam Aadmi Party is growing bigger, more and more cases are being filed against them. Back to you.
All right, we're getting the first up response of Manish Sisodia on the Delhi Snoopgate crisis. Sisodia has cried foul, calls case against him fake. He tweets, and I quote, "Making false cases against your rivals is a sign of a weak and cowardly person. As Aam Aadmi Party grows, many more cases will be filed against us," unquote. So they're crying foul at the moment. Amit Bharat still continues to be with us. Amit, Manish Sisodia is very, very clear that as the party grows, there will be more cases like this slapped against us. And of course, politically, we understand how this back and forth is happening, but facts are facts. So what does the investigation reveal for the moment?
Well, this is at a very primary stage right now. The particular case that we are talking about, alleged Delhi Snoopgate case, it is about the feedback unit which was allegedly formed in the year 2015. And there are allegations that nearly 1 crore rupees was sanctioned for the FBU unit, out of which nearly 30 lakh rupees was spent on the Secret Services Fund. These are all allegations, and there are another allegation that this particular snooping unit was formed to keep an eye on the government officials, the organizations connected with the Delhi government. Along with that, there are allegations that this FBU unit was also snooping on the political opponents of Aam Aadmi Party. Now, the CBI needed a sanction from the competent authority. So if you look at the timeline, the FBU unit is formed in 2015, around 2016 it gets wrapped up, or maybe, even before that it gets wrapped up as per reports. And after that, suddenly 7 years later, after the PE, preliminary inquiry was completed, the CBI had sought a letter on January 12th to VK Saxena, who is the Lieutenant Governor of the National Capital, seeking approval from the competent authority, which is the MHA, the Ministry of Home Affairs, in this particular case. So that file was forwarded by the Vigilance Department of the Delhi government to the MHA for its clearance. And now today, the MHA has given a green signal, which means it has given the sanction to prosecute Delhi Deputy Chief Minister in the Snoopgate case. Now the CBI will have the freedom to lodge an FIR, official FIR, against Manish Sisodia and begin the investigation. Now, it is very important to understand, when is this all happening? Now another investigation will be launched against Mr. Sisodia. He's already facing serious allegations in the Liquorgate case, and in fact, this Sunday itself, Mr. Sisodia had claimed that had he gone for the CBI, questioning on Sunday, he would have been arrested. So the CBI is anyway going to question him.
Getting some breaking news coming in. We'll have to cut straight across to it. Amit, continue to be with us right there. There's a big breaking news coming in. News just coming in. Air India US Delhi flight with nearly 300 passengers made an emergency landing at Sweden's Stockholm airport after it developed a technical snag. All passengers, from what we're picking up, are safe. A large number of fire engines were deployed and stationed at the airport as the flight made an emergency landing. Latest coming in right there. Air India scare, a narrow escape for the passengers. The US Delhi flight with nearly 300 passengers made an emergency landing at Sweden's Stockholm airport. This happened after it developed a technical snag. All the passengers, from what we're picking up, are safe, and a large number of fire engines were stationed at the airport as the flight made an emergency landing. Nearly 300 passengers were on board, but the good news is they're all safe. It's been a narrow escape for them. What exactly was the technical snag is something that we will still pick up. It's a developing story for the moment, but that's the breaking news coming in. This is Air India US Delhi flight making an emergency landing. Nearly 300 passengers on board, and this made an emergency landing at Stockholm airport. It was from US bound to Delhi, and all passengers at the moment are safe. We're slipping to a very short commercial break. Lots more coming up on the other side. Stay with us.
Over 3 decades, Business Today has delivered news, views and analysis like no other. Now, Business Today presents the future.
Could I request Mr. Arun Puri, our Editor-in-Chief, to come up on the stage with the Finance Minister as we unveil the anniversary issue of Business Today. This is the 31st anniversary of India's #1 news magazine.
BT produces a cover with an AI avatar of Pichai on its 31st anniversary issue. Visit businesstoday.in/subscribe and subscribe now.
Southern cinema is known for its flavors, be it over-the-top action sequences, light-hearted comedy, or a complete masala entertainer.
పానం కన్నా విలువైన నీ సోపతి నా సొంతం అన్నా గర్వంతో ఈ మనలో కలిసిపోతేనే
And the fact that it has such a wide reach irrespective of the language barrier explains the craze and power of these regional films. While we have Kannada films, Telugu films and Malayalam movies that have had a dream run lately and continue to do so, let's take a look at the A-listers and their most anticipated Tamil movies of 2023 as the industry is basking in the glory of some of the biggest hits. Jailer. Jailer will be Rajnikant's first film since the release of Annate in 2021. Directed by Nelson Dilip Kumar, the movie has a stellar cast comprising of Jackie Shroff, Shivaraj Kumar, Mohan Lal and Tamanna among others. The movie is scheduled to roll out in cinemas on April 14th. Ponniyin Selvan 2. Filmmaker Mani Ratnam's dream project Ponniyin Selvan Part 1 fetched critical acclaim and was a commercial success. The first part of this magnum opus ended on a cliffhanger, and now all eyes are on the second part, which will hit theatres on April 28th. The second part will pick up from where it ended in PS1 and will have answers to key questions about the Chola dynasty. Based on the novel by Kalki Krishnamurthy, the historical drama features Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, Chiyan Vikram, Trisha, Jayam Ravi and Karthi in lead roles.
The people vote for us based on what the ideologies that we have.
What do the young of Shillong want?
I just want to go out of Meghalaya.
If you're standing by the people, then expect people to stand by you.
In 30 years of doing political rallies, I've never quite seen anything like this.
And we would like to be king, not a kingmaker.
The future's not ours. Whatever happens in its politics, we will celebrate with music and food.
Ranbir Kapoor is currently gearing up for the release of his upcoming film, Tu Jhooti Main Makkar. Recently, the actor was spotted heading out of Mumbai when a paparazzi danced to the tune of a song from his next and left the actor impressed. The songs Tere Pyar Mein and Pyar Hota Kai Baar Hai from this Love Ranjan's romantic movie have become huge hits. Co-starring Shraddha Kapoor, Tu Jhooti Main Makkar is set to release on March 8th. The film also stars comedian Anubhav Singh Bassi and Dimple Kapadia.
नमस्ते पंडित जी, कुंडलियां मिलवानी थी।
अभी जल्दी क्या है? बुरा बन के ब्रेकअप तो कोई भी कर सकता है। खूबसूरत ब्रेकअप वो होता है जिसमें सामने वाले को, उसके घर वालों को, रिश्तेदारों को सबको लगे कि लड़की तो बहुत प्यारी है, हमारे लड़के में ही खोट है।
रोक तो ले भाई, क्या कर रहा है? एक बार तो रोक। मुझे उद्देश्य नहीं दिख रहा यार तेरी जिंदगी का। अब क्या करेगा जी के? भैंस की आंख, हमें सच्चा प्यार हो गया और ये मजे ले रही है। छोटी कहीं की, कोई कदर ही नहीं रह गई दुनिया में प्यार की। मेरा तो दिल कर रहा है कूद के मर जाऊं। इतने फ्रिवलेस हो चुके हैं लोग, छी।
Ranbir was last seen in Ayan Mukherjee's Brahmastra alongside his wife and actor Alia Bhatt. The actor has 2 more parts lined up in this trilogy. The mythological drama was highly praised for its VFX.
जल, वायु, अग्नि, प्राचीन काल से हमारे बीच कुछ ऐसी शक्तियां हैं जो अस्त्रों में भरी हुई हैं। ये कहानी है इन सारे अस्त्रों के देवता की, ब्रह्मास्त्र।
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Breaking news just coming in. Rajasthan police has seized a Haryana-registered SUV allegedly used by car vigilantes in the abduction and murder of 2 men whose charred bodies were found in Bhiwani. Haryana police registered a case against 30 to 40 unnamed Rajasthan police personnel in Nuh on a complaint by a woman that her pregnant daughter-in-law lost her child after she was allegedly assaulted by them during a raid to nab her son Shrikant, who is amongst the accused in the abduction murder case. Rahul Gautam now joining us for the very latest on the story. Rahul, there's been a development. The Rajasthan police has seized a Haryana-registered SUV allegedly that was used by the cow vigilantes. What more do we know on this? Where does the investigation stand?
Well, just a couple of days back, a team of Rajasthan police, reached at the residence of one of the accused in this case, that is Mr. Shrikant, and it is being alleged, as per the mother of accused, that the police officials over there manhandled wife of the accused here, and in fact this led to the miscarriage of the child. Now, following this complaint that was made by the mother of the accused, now Haryana police has filed in an FIR against this case against unknown officials, and obviously they have started the investigation in this entire matter. They're taking a medical opinion in this regard. As far as investigation is concerned, we've been informed that police would obviously now be going for forensics and the electronic footprints of the accused, whether they were actually present in the same area where this incident happened. And obviously they're also trying to nab the absconders in this case. We all know that Monu Manesar, who's one of the prime accused in this case, is still untraceable, is still absconding. There are other 7 people also who are absconding in this case. So obviously the first priority of the police would be to nab these people who are still at large. However, it seems that that this is becoming Haryana police versus Rajasthan police, given the fact that Haryana police has filed an FIR, on the allegations that Rajasthan police misbehaved with the family members of the accused in this case.
All right, thanks for joining us with the very latest details on this. We'll continue to bring you up to speed with the very latest development on this story. It is the car vigilante horror that we're tracking right here on India Today. The big question is, where is Monu Manesar? It's been 5 days since the alleged murder of Junaid and Nasir at the hands of cow vigilantes. Monu Manesar, who is the face of the Gau Rakshak movement in Haryana, is of course the prime suspect, but he's absconding. He's at large. A Mahapanchayat was held in Manesar in support of the suspects. Speakers at the meeting warned the Rajasthan police against arresting Monu Manesar and his associates. Here's our report.
Five days on since the alleged murder of Junaid and Nasir, prime suspect Gau Rakshak Monu Manesar is still on the run. On his home turf Haryana, a Mahapanchayat is held in his favour and passions run high.
अगर राजस्थान पुलिस ने हमारे साथियों को, उनके परिवार को परेशान किया, तो ये स्पष्ट सुन ले कि वो राजस्थान पुलिस इस मामले में आएगी तो अपने पांव से, लेकिन वापस अपने पांव से नहीं जा पाएगी।
गोरक्षक दल हमारे से ज्यादा काम कर रहे हैं। जब पुलिस को लगा तो इन पूरे गोरक्षकों को हथियार मुहैया कराए, इनके लाइसेंस दिए गए। अब मैं आगे की बात पा रहा हूं, क्यों उनकी अपनी नाकामी को छिपाने के लिए तो पहले इनको हथियार दिए गए, इनको लाइसेंस दिए गए। अब ये जो कह रहे हैं कि भाई इनके लाइसेंस कैंसिल किए जाए, ये बहुत गलत बात है, क्योंकि आज ये हिंदू धर्म की रक्षा कर रहे हैं, गौ माता की रक्षा कर रहे हैं। आज मोनू मानेसर की टीम को हथियारों की सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत है और पुलिस कौन से राज्य की है अभी फिलहाल।
The Mahapanchayat held on Tuesday called for funds to provide Monu Manesar legal defence.
हमारी प्रशासन से मुख्य मांग जो आज हमारी पंचायत थी वो इस विषय पे थी कि जो हमारे भाई मोनू पे जो ये झूठा केस दर्ज किया गया है, ये एक षड्यंत्र के तहत ये केस दर्ज किया गया है, उसको फंसाने का काम किया है, वो निर्दोष है। तो हमने प्रशासन से और सरकार से ये मांग की है कि उसकी सीबीआई जांच करवाई जाए और दूध का दूध पानी का पानी किया जाए, क्योंकि हमारा भाई बिल्कुल निर्दोष है। कमेटी भी बनाई है, पैसा भी इकट्ठा किया, क्योंकि वो हमारा भाई है, वो समाज के लिए लड़ रहा है।
The Delhi-Jaipur highway is blocked briefly by his supporters as rumours spread about a Rajasthan police team coming to raid Monu Manesar's residence. Out of the 9 accused in the murder, only one has been arrested so far. Some of them are allegedly informers of the Haryana police. Monu himself is the face of Haryana government's Gau Raksha drive. There are many photographs of him posing with senior police officers of the state. The FIR filed by Rajasthan police based on the complaints by the families of Junaid and Nasir claims the crime investigation agency of Haryana police in Noo district colluded with the suspects.
चूँकि एलिगेशंस सीरियस हैं, इसलिए हमने अपने तौर पे भी हमारे एडिशनल एसपी नू श्रीमती उषा कुंडू जी को हमने इसकी जांच सौंपी है, जिसमें जो भी तथ्य है सोशल मीडिया चैनलों के ऊपर या कहीं से भी आए हैं उनके पास, तो इस संबंध में गंभीरता से जांच करते हुए इसमें जो भी सच्चाई है, अगर कोई भी लापरवाही हमारे पुलिस के द्वारा की गई है तो उसकी भी हम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फिक्स करेंगे। तो ये भी हमने अपनी तरफ से जांच कमेटी बिठा दी है।
The whole investigation is getting messy. The family of a suspect, Shrikant, claims that his wife suffered miscarriage after being manhandled by Rajasthan cops.
श्रीकांत जो है उनकी मदर के द्वारा, दुलारी जी के द्वारा ये कंप्लेंट दी गई है। इस संबंध में तुरंत प्रभाव से पुलिस द्वारा जांच अमल में लाई गई है। रात को भी मेडिकल रिकॉर्ड्स के लिए और छानबीन के लिए हमारी पुलिस गई थी और आज भी वो कंटिन्यू चल रही है हमारी जांच। तो जांच के बाद डॉक्टर की ओपिनियन के बाद ही हम उसमें आगे अग्रिम कार्रवाई कर सकते हैं।
Kidnapped from Rajasthan, murdered in Haryana. Bodies of Junaid and Nasir were found in their charred bolero in Bhiwani. Results of DNA samples collected from the skeletal remains are still awaited. Junaid and Nasir are alleged victims of the Gau Raksha movement in Haryana. But the suspects are roaming free. Who is shielding Monu Manesar? With Rahul Gautam in Manesar, Bureau Report, India Today.
Breaking news coming in. Sanjay Raut's statement has been taken by Thane police with respect to his allegation yesterday that Shrikant Shinde has given a supari to one Raja Thakur to kill him. He had tweeted a letter asking Devendra Fadnavis to look into it. So there you go, Sanjay Raut's statement recorded by Thane police. The allegation by him was that Shrikant Shinde has given a supari to a Raja Thakur to kill him. It's a big sensational death threat claim which is being made by Sanjay Raut. He also tweeted a letter asking the Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis to look into this. We'll get you more information on this in moments from now, but it's a sensational allegation leveled by Sanjay Raut, and his statement has now been recorded with the Thane police.
आज सुबह से ही मुझे ये पता चला, मुझे माननीय उद्धव ठाकरे साहब ने भी इस बारे में अवगत किया था कि ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है, मेरे कान पर आ रहा है। शिंदे गुट के एक सांसद श्रीकांत शिंदे ने संजय राउत को ख़त्म करने की एक सुपारी, जिसे बोलते हैं यहाँ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किलिंग, एक माफिया जो अभी अभी जमानत पर छूटा है, राजा ठाकुर उनका नाम है, उनको ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किलिंग का काम दिया है। तो मेरा एक कर्तव्य बनता है इस राज्य के बुद्धिमान गृह मंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी, मुंबई के पुलिस कमिश्नर, थाने शहर के पुलिस कमिश्नर को अवगत करना चाहिए। आज सुबह से ही मुझे ये पता चला, मुझे माननीय उद्धव ठाकरे साहब ने भी इस बारे में अवगत किया था कि ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है, मेरे कान पर आ रहा है। शिंदे गुट के एक सांसद श्रीकांत शिंदे ने संजय राउत को ख़त्म करने की एक सुपारी, जिसे बोलते हैं यहाँ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किलिंग, एक माफिया जो अभी अभी जमानत पर छूटा है, राजा ठाकुर उनका नाम है, उनको ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किलिंग का काम दिया है। तो मेरा एक कर्तव्य बनता है इस राज्य के बुद्धिमान गृह मंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी, मुंबई के पुलिस कमिश्नर, थाने शहर के पुलिस कमिश्नर को अवगत करना चाहिए।
Sanjay Raut is such a person who sleeps in the night. He has some dreams, and whatever he sees in the dreams, he talks to the press at 9 o'clock. I think the proper solution for this kind of people is that he is out on a bail. One has to see whether he has broken the conditions given for granting him a stay. In that case, his bail should be cancelled and he should be arrested and put into jail.
Another attempt in Delhi to elect the mayor. There's some ruckus that is taking place. Amit Bharat is getting us all the latest details. Take it away, Amit. What's going on?
Well, Chati, today the proceedings at the Civic Center where the mayoral polls is supposed to take place was expected to be smooth. But right now there's a lot of hangama and ruckus happening on the ground floor of the Civic Center, where you have the Aam Aadmi Party MCD leaders as well as the Aam Aadmi Party Delhi unit leaders, arguing with the Delhi police officials, asking them to allow them in on the top floors of the Civic Center where the MCD's house is located right there. This is Adil Khan, the leader of Aam Aadmi Party's Delhi unit, holds a very important post as far as the MCD proceedings are concerned. The working of the councillors are concerned, and he is constantly arguing with the Delhi police, asking them to allow to the upper floors of the civic center. The bone of contention is that, as per Aam Aadmi Party leaders, Vijender Gupta, who is the BJP MLA, was allowed on the top floor of the civic center. Now, Aam Aadmi Party leaders are saying that if you are allowing the BJP leaders, how can you stop the Aam Aadmi Party workers from reaching the upper floors of the house? But as far as the proceedings of the house is concerned, the house will begin shortly. Right there on the screen, you will see these are the visuals coming from inside the house of the MCD. The proceeding of this MCD house will begin a few minutes from now, when the presiding officer Satya Sharma will begin the mayoral proceedings of the mayoral polls from a few minutes from here. In the center of the house is Atishi, the senior leader of Aam Aadmi Party, interacting with the mayoral candidate of Aam Aadmi Party, Shelly Oberoi. But right outside the MCD house, what is happening is there's a complete ruckus. The Delhi police jawans are stopping the Aam Aadmi Party leaders from reaching the upper floors of the civic center. And this confrontation, we can see Kuldeep Kumar, the MLA from Aam Aadmi Party, is right there constantly arguing with the police, asking permission to go on the top floor. कुलदीप, किस बात को लेके बवाल चल रहा है यहाँ पे, हंगामा क्यों कर रहे हैं?
जो लोग सदन के मेंबर नहीं है, उन लोगों को ऊपर एंट्री दी गई है क्योंकि वो भाजपा के लोग हैं। ये बिल्कुल सरासर गलत है। अगर जिनके पास एमसीडी के पास है, जिनके पास वोटिंग राइट्स है, उन लोगों को जाने की अनुमति दी जाए। लेकिन पुलिस के साथ मिलकर जिस प्रकार की गुंडागर्दी की जा रही है, वो गलत है, वो दुखद है। इस प्रकार से नहीं करना चाहिए। अगर आपने जिन विधायकों को ऊपर भेजा है भाजपा के, वो गलत है।
विरोध किस बात को लेके है कि बीजेपी के विधायक को अलाउ किया गया या आप लोगों को रोका जा रहा है?
उनको अलाउ किया गया और जो हमारे लोग हैं उनको रोका जा रहा है। जो बीजेपी के लोग हैं उनको अलाउ किया गया अंदर। ये दुखद है। इस प्रकार से
क्या कार्रवाई होती है?
नहीं, धरने होने में नहीं बैठे, हम तो बात कर रहे हैं पुलिस से, केवल बात कर रहे हैं, बातचीत कर रहे हैं उन लोगों से।
So right there, you heard Kuldeep Kumar, he is the MLA from Aam Aadmi Party, is saying that they have two problems with the security forces deployed here, the Delhi police deployed here. Number one is that how our MLA from the BJP, who does not has the membership or the nomination in the house, how is he being allowed on the upper floors of the civic center? The other problem is that why are the Aam Aadmi Party...
Okay, Amit, if you could just walk around and show us the kind of ruckus that is going on over there as well, we'd appreciate it.
Right, Chaiti. I'll show you as to what was happening right here. This is the security layer which has been, put up to ensure that there is no problem in the proceedings of the House when the fourth time the mayoral elections will take place. This is and the two escalators are located here from where you can go to the upper floors of the civic center where the MCD's house is located. But these policemen, the security deployed here, there are allegations that they allowed the BJP MLA Vijender Gupta in this case and stopped Aam Aadmi Party workers right there. You could see, the passes are being shown. This is the process. So anybody who has those pass of the house will be allowed to go upstairs. Now, Aam Aadmi Party workers who have assembled here, right here you can see, they assembled here in big numbers, constantly asking that they should be allowed inside the house. And that confrontation was continuing. But as of now, there's a they are calculating as to what is to be done. All these people that you are seeing out here are from Aam Aadmi Party. That is Adil Khan, who holds an important post as far as the proceedings of Aam Aadmi Party's MCD affairs are concerned. And here you could see the security has been beefed up. You have the CRP Jawans deployed out here. You also have BSF Jawans as well as the SSB Jawans who have been brought in, and all these para forces have been brought in to ensure that nobody is allowed to disrupt the proceeding of the mayoral polls today. Remember, Chaiti, this is the fourth time when the mayoral elections, the proceedings for the mayoral elections will happen. For the past 3 times, all attempts have failed because of the ruckus inside the house. But today, even before the proceeding could begin inside the house, there's ruckus outside the house at the civic center where Aam Aadmi Party, workers are protesting. Adil, you hold a very important post in the Aam Aadmi Party as far as the MCD affairs are concerned. Why this ruckus even before the proceeding has begun?
देखिए, दिल्ली पुलिस ने हम सबको यहाँ बताया कि जो लोग सदन के मेंबर हैं
वही सदन में जा सकते हैं। हम लोग चुपचाप यहाँ खड़े हो गए। हम चाहते हैं कि माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश के बाद ये चुनाव जितने भी अच्छे तरीके से हो पाए, जितने भी सरल तरीके से हो जाए, हम सब लोग उसका सम्मान करते हुए हम लोग यहाँ खड़े हो गए। हमने देखा कि हमारे सामने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कई नेता, विजेंद्र गुप्ता समेत कई लोग ऊपर चले गए, दिल्ली पुलिस ने उनको ऊपर जाने दिया। तो ये पूरी तरीके से
पास नहीं था, क्योंकि हम देख रहे हैं पास के बाद ही जाने दिया जा रहा है।
देखिए वो सारा, ना तो विजेंद्र गुप्ता जी सदन के मेंबर हैं, ना विधायक है, ना उनके पास कोई पास था। उनके साथ कई लोगों को दिल्ली पुलिस ने ऊपर जाने दिया है। हमारी ये मांग है कि हम सारे लोग यहाँ नीचे खड़े हैं, हम सम्मान करते हैं कोर्ट का, तो आखिर दिल्ली पुलिस भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं को सदन में क्यों जाने दे रही है? आखिर क्या मनसा है?
आप लोगों का प्रयास तो ये होना चाहिए ना कि आज जो प्रोसीडिंग है वो स्मूथली हो जाए। सुप्रीम कोर्ट से आप लोग फाइनली जजमेंट लेके आए अपने फेवर में, ताकि मेयर का चुनाव हो पाए।
हम सारे लोग यही तो कह रहे हैं। हम कह रहे हैं कि हम लोग यहाँ बाहर खड़े हैं। आप जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं को, जो सदन के मेंबर नहीं है, जिनके पास पास नहीं है, उनको भी बाहर बुला लीजिए। हम सिर्फ यही चाहते हैं।
Chathi, you just heard them. They are saying that those who hold the pass should be allowed to go on the upper floors of the civic center, but who do not have the passes shouldn't be allowed by the security forces, and there should be no discrimination whether they belong from Aam Aadmi Party or the BJP. Back to you, Chaiti.
All right, so this is the fourth attempt, Amit, if I'm not mistaken. Delhi's not had a mayor, and still all these issues have not been ironed out.
Right, Chaiti. You know, the mayoral elections were conducted in December itself, along with the state assembly elections of Himachal and Gujarat. But after that, there was a delay in election of the declaration of the date for election of the mayor, Delhi United MCD. And eventually, when the mayoral election polls started, 3 attempts, there was complete ruckus in the house. Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP at loggerheads. Aam Aadmi Party trained guns at BJP councillors, MLAs, saying that they are the ones not allowing the house to continue. And the third attempt failed because Aam Aadmi Party councillors said that, you know, aldermen cannot get the voting right inside the house. Now, the matter went to the Supreme Court. Aam Aadmi Party's arguments were taken up, upheld by the Supreme Court, that aldermen cannot get, the nominated members cannot get the voting right, that the mayor presiding officer will conduct only the mayoral polls, and after that the mayor will conduct the election for the deputy mayor and standing committee members. So Aam Aadmi Party had, won their case in Supreme Court. This is the 4th time when the mayoral elections proceeding will happen in the house, but apparently there is hangama outside the house even before the proceedings could begin. We'll show you 2 visuals. This is the ground floor of the civic center where the MCD house is located. Look at the number of Aam Aadmi Party workers standing out here. They are saying, you know, anybody without passes should not be allowed on the upper floors of the civic center where the MCD house is located. And you see the Delhi police has called up paramilitary forces, beefed up the security on the escalators to ensure no illegal entry is made. On the other side, the second visual that is coming is of the
If you could
MCD
also
house.
explain the Supreme Court ruling as well, Amit, because there was a decisive victory for Aam Aadmi Party in the Supreme Court.
Right, Chaiti. You know, the bone of contention in the entire matter was whether the nominated members will get voting right or not. The presiding officer, Satya Sharma, who is also a councillor from the BJP, had said in the House a couple of things which had created complete ruckus, mismanagement in the House. Number one, bone of contention was that Satya Sharma, the presiding officer, ruled that the nominated members, the 10 aldermen, will get voting right. Aam Aadmi Party protested. The second part was Satya Sharma wanted to conduct the mayor, deputy mayor and standing committee elections all at once, and she wanted to conduct these elections on her own. The third problem which erupted in the third proceeding was that leaders facing corruption charges and conviction should not be allowed inside the house, and that decision was taken in the last moment, and that's where the problem had escalated and the house was adjourned. This matter went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court judgment says very clearly that the nominated members cannot cast vote in the House, which means all these aldermen will not get the voting right today. And the Supreme Court order came, in accordance with the Constitution's Article 243R, which says that while people who have expertise of civil governance should be sent in the civic body as nominated members.
Yeah.
But these nominated members will not have voting rights.
So now on the back of this ruling, Amit, to put perspective on what's going on for our viewers, explain to us where the numbers stand, because clearly it looks like it's not gone in BJP's favor. Because if the aldermen indeed were allowed to vote, would that have been advantage BJP in terms of the numbers? If you could break down what the majority mark is and how many votes does the AAP have, BJP have, etc.
Right. Jyoti, look, a Delhi civic body is a very powerful civic body in the way, the kind of population it represents, the amount of money that it has, and the amount of social capital that its councillors exercise. There are 250 seats in the MCD, 250 elected members in the MCD, and along with that, 10 MPs from Delhi, that is 7 Lok Sabha MPs and the 3 Rajya Sabha MPs are allowed to be member of the MCD. So it makes increases the count to 260, and then 1/5 of the Delhi Assembly, that is 14 MLAs, are also allowed in the House, are accepted as the members of the House. So that increases the number by 14 numbers, 274. Now there are 10 nominated members, but they do not have the voting right. So as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, they have 134 seats in the MCD. Along with that, they have 3 Rajya Sabha MPs and 13 MLAs on their side. So their number is anything beyond 150. And as far as the BJP is concerned, their numbers is quite less. BJP had won near about 404 seats. Along with that, they have 1 MLA and 7 Lok Sabha MPs. So in that case, they have the total numbers that the BJP has in its pockets is around 113. So they have much lesser numbers as far as the dynamics are concerned. These 10 aldermen could have actually changed the number game, and it would have increased the possibility as to whether there could be cross voting. Because remember, Chaiti, in the MCD, there's no anti-defection law, which means you might be from A party or B party, but you can vote for whichever candidate you want. So there is always a possibility of cross voting, and this had become a big controversy as to whether cross voting could happen inside the MCD house, whether somebody from Aam Aadmi Party could vote for the BJP when the aldermen were allowed to cast their vote. But now, Chaiti, the situation has changed. Aam Aadmi Party has brute majority as far as the mayoral and deputy mayoral posts are concerned. BJP does not have the number right now, but there are 3 elections which are supposed to happen. One is the mayor election, the other is deputy mayor post, and the third is the standing committee. Now, standing committee is considered to be the most powerful body of the MCD. It is the committee which has all sanctioning powers, authorities with it. So even if the mayor passes a proposal, it has to get its sanction from the standing committee, and that's where the number game changes. The Aam Aadmi Party might be able to get the mayoral and deputy mayor